all chiefed up. The best damn Kansas City Chiefs podcast in the kingdom.
Chiefs Kingdom ACU crew, it's Saturday night, and you know what that means. We're back with another live podcast for that ass.
Let's go.
Let's go.
What about it? Where are you all at tonight? What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Let's gather up in here and talk about the Chiefs.
If you're here and you're ready to talk a little football, raise your little hands.
Raise your hands in the chat. Just put a little hand up, baby.
Put your little stupid hands in the sky.
We have all kinds of cool stuff to talk about, like the Chiefs players just being slap nuts.
If you're ready for the season to start, Steve, give me a hell yeah.
Give me a hell yeah.
Because I don't want the off season no more. I don't want it. I'm over the off season.
It's the off season from hell, brother.
We have made the 90s Dallas Cowboys look like choir boys. Okay?
They said, look, I'll take your Michael Irvin and your cocaine, and I'll raise you. We're playing Grand Theft Auto this summer.
Do you remember when back in the college football days where they did Catholics versus convicts? Remember that?
Mike, Catholicism is a sore subject right now. Don't be talking about those evil Catholics, okay?
Notre Dame versus Miami, right? And that's what they labeled it. The Chiefs are definitely, we're the Catholics and the convicts at this point.
We're all of it.
We're all of it. And you know what? I'm tired of it. Let's just play some football. I want the offseason to be over with. And what we're referring to, and I'm sure everybody already freaking knows.
Everybody knows.
Still, the Chiefs. We had Chiefs Morris, Wanye, and Chu Godrick, Chooch and Chong up here, arrested for marijuana possession, bro. Look, right there in Johnson County, Kansas, a misdemeanor possession of marijuana. Both were released Friday after posting $2,500 bond. Big deal. But you know what else? If they were in Kansas City, in Missouri, I don't think it's a big problem, right? It's not even illegal there. Is this one thing we can all jump on and agree with? That let's just legalize this crap across the board.
Right? What are we doing?
I mean, who cares at this point?
The government loves to control and tax everything, Mike. Why don't they do it? Why don't they just do it?
Do it. Cheech and Chong it out. You know, let's just get it going.
Do what you want.
I already see it.
This is America, Mike.
Wanye and Chu, they just have their own brand. The Chooch and Chong. I love it, dude. Let's just let them go with it. Call it the 3-time back-to-back Super Bowl champs.
Maybe the Chiefs should just go ahead and make their own gummy brand. Should we? Should we have an all chiefed up gummy?
What should it be called?
All chiefed up. It's the gummies.
I mean,
it's
everybody
perfect.
thought when we first started it was just going to be two stoners talking about football. We don't do that.
But we don't care if you do.
We don't partake in the devil's lettuce. But if you do, put a little side of ranch on it and go to town. I don't care. Steve, are you tired of the offseason? I'm tired of it. Is this really that big of a deal for the Chiefs, though?
It's not. It's just an add-on, right? Like if Rashee Rice hadn't played Grand Theft Auto, if Rashee Rice hadn't punched the cameraman in the face, if none of this had happened, this would probably not be a story whatsoever.
If Butker just wasn't a Catholic.
Yeah. Damn Butker. That's what they call him in the chat, Butler.
Yeah, I've seen Butler 5,000 times. I thought that I should just rename all of our videos.
Autocorrect really wants Harrison Butker to be Harrison Butler.
Yeah, I thought about naming all of our videos Butler. Because when people search it, autocorrect takes it over, and then our video is the first one that pops up. Otherwise,
the only way.
Yeah, that'd be the only way, because otherwise it's just going to be Cole right at the top every time.
Did you mean to type in Chiefs? Here's this guy.
It said, you go on, Steve, and you're like, here, hold up. I'm going to type something. I would like to watch this.
I hear it. I can hear it, Mike.
Did you want to watch All Chiefed Up and whatever? And then YouTube says, did you mean to type in, how about those Chiefs? Yeah. Watch Cole right now or I will kill you. I will stab your family if you don't click that. That's how it works. But it's funny. I mean,
is
in
funny.
a way, it's hilarious.
It's good stuff, man.
Yeah, it is what it is.
So as far as Cheech and Chong go, I don't think it matters. But, Wanye, he's trying to fight for a starting spot on this team, and I think he just gave Kingsley a little leg up on the action. If
That's what I was thinking.
If Kingsley isn't just, slow and hungry at practice like Wanye is, then he's gonna be better at blocking
Wanye
people.
is now going to be the first guy in the snack room. Okay, he's going to be the guy that hands out Cheetos during film. It's okay. And you know what? I don't really think it's going to be a
Flaming
big
hot
deal.
Cheetos, though.
Do you think
right?
Andy's going to come in and be like, Wanye, you smoked a little weed. You're out.
Yeah, no one cares.
You think he's going to be like, Wanye, you did have the left tackle job, but now you're going to be burnt out of your mind, so get out.
He'll say, listen, did you at least bring some cheeseburgers?
He said, listen, you guys want to go get a cheeseburger? He's like
Yeah, but-
Stone Cold E.T.
Don't you think, Mike, though, if it wasn't for the other things that had happened that have the Chiefs in the spotlight, like that wouldn't be a thing? Like,
Yeah,
it's also
that's the point.
a guy that's like potentially a starter, but the other guy, like, no one even knows who he is.
Chew? No.
Yeah.
Nobody even knows what his real name is. That's why we call him Chew.
Yeah.
Look, he was a guy that come over on the international program.
What about now? Are they going to, like, make him leave? They're like, you had a little bit of weed. You got to go.
Right. Does he lose his visa? They're like, you lost your visa. You
Yeah, I don't
smoked
think
weed in
it works
Kansas.
that way.
You smoked weed in Kansas. Go back to wherever you're from. I don't even know where he's from. Where's he from? He's from the international program. What
Damn,
international
Richie.
place is he from?
Richie, we want to do a Time's Yours, too. It's coming back. Don't worry. We missed
yeah.
that segment.
Yeah, we're going to bring that one back. It's going to be funny.
It's going to be fun. It's gonna be
Scott
real
said
fun.
Chew might get deported.
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't
No,
know how
man.
they go about that.
It doesn't even matter. If he gets deported, just walk right back across. I mean,
Come
isn't that
on
what we're
back.
doing? Come on back, buddy. Everybody get on in.
Hey,
Get up to Kansas. Smoke some weed, baby. Let's
do
go.
it. Let's go. It can't be in Kansas. You got to be in Missouri. Get it right.
Oh, yeah. Stay in. Look, why cross into Kansas? If you
Oh,
got
Richie
the
was saying-
ganja on you, just stay in Kansas City,
Wanye, Time's Yours.
Missouri.
Where's my cheeseburgers?
Yeah. Time's yours, Wanye. Get it
Yeah,
together.
so I'm with you. It's not so much that like the off season needs to be over with, but I'll be glad when they at least get back to being like some sort of routine. Like get these guys back in the OTAs. Let's get back to camp. Don't give them too much freedom out there. I mean, obviously, if you let the Chiefs figure out what they're going to do on their own time, and there's no one like trying to give them some kind of structure, they're out of control. They
These
just
guys,
can't.
They've lost their minds.
They can't handle it. Like that skit on Benchwarmer Brand where it's like they're all sitting around and he's like, the off season's up. What are you going to do? And Travis Kelce's like, I'm probably going to hang out with Taylor and stuff. Mahomes talking about hanging out with his family. And then Rashee Rice is like, I'm going to commit crimes. Like that's what he was going to do for the
said,
summer. What are you going to do this off season? Commit crimes.
What do you think Andy's been doing? You think Andy's got some dark secrets he's trying to hide here in the off season?
Maybe.
Like he's cheated on his diet a few times?
I don't know.
It's going to come out.
You know
Mike
what?
Florio would freak out.
Is it going to loop? Is it going to loop?
No,
It isn't loop.
I
Look
fixed
at
it.
it. Flapjack with the 2 bomb. He says, "Is it true? 3 games in 10 days? Yes,
Is
it
it
is.
true? Yeah.
You know what the NFL did, Mike? They were like, "You think you're going to win 3 Super Bowls, huh?" Well, you're not, because we're going to do everything we freaking can to make sure that you don't. We'll make you play 3 games in 10 days. We don't care.
We'll make you open up the season against 2 of the best teams in the league. We don't care.
You think that's really how the meeting went? Like Goodell,
Yeah.
he's like,
Yeah.
I think that's how it went. Did you see the headline where they're like, "Oh, Roger Goodell considered what cities Taylor Swift's going to be in on tour when he made the
Dude,
schedule."
Don't they do this all the time? Because all these places have tours that come through, like music tours and stuff. Like that's
Yeah.
just normal. They just made a headline out of that for no reason to make it look like Goodell.
Chiefs are cheating.
Yeah, and the Chiefs are like in cahoots over here or something. Shut up. I'm getting so
Stop.
tired of everybody these days. Like, just shut up.
Just shut up and hit
It's
the like button
constant.
for us. You
Yeah,
know,
hit that.
jeez.
It's
Why-
just
what are we
constant
doing?
negativity, bro.
It is. Everybody's got to start having some fun again. If y'all don't care, hit that like button for us real quick. Get this out to some more people. Let's have a little party tonight, if you will. I mean, why not? The Chiefs are out partying. We might as well be right here on our own.
Dude, they're puffing up. They ain't even worried about the drug test they got to go through anymore.
And if
Those
you
are out the
find
window,
yourself, you
baby.
just find yourself here by accident on a Saturday night, and you haven't seen our channel before, and you like the Chiefs, you should hit the subscribe button. That's a great idea. You can hang out
Don't
with
like the Chiefs.
Yep.
I mean, you can stay, but I don't know. You're not going to like it.
Yeah, you better be careful what you say. You get
Better
thrown
be
in the
careful.
pit. To the pit.
To the pit, man. To the pit.
Man, everybody's like, I feel like everyone's on the edge too. Like maybe like these little things going on in the offseason got everybody crazy. You know?
I think everybody's just everybody's a little tired, man. Everybody's
so.
Look, we just got to get back to playing football.
How about them Royals though, baby? Let's go. They're looking like they might compete this year. Salvi said it's the best team he's played with. It reminds him of 14 and 15.
Whew.
Young and hungry, baby. Out
You
there
know what's
winning.
funny is I turned it around. The Royals owe me. Okay.
Did you do it? Is it your fault?
This is why. It was the third, I want to say like the third game of the season, and the Royals started out like suck, right? We started off like losing like a bunch right off the rip. And some guy tweeted and he said, how early is it to call it a season? And I wrote and I said, before the season started. And as soon as I made that little snide-ass rude comment, they've been hot ever since.
They're like,
So
oh,
see,
yeah?
They're like, oh, yeah, Mike? Look, I'm going to prove you wrong.
That's great. But anyway, back to the Chiefs. When does OTAs kick off? It's got to be soon, right?
They're coming up here. In May. I think we got some on like 21st through 23rd or something like that, and then we've got them like 27th through 30th or something like that. I can find the exact dates, but I honestly don't care.
So we're getting there, baby.
It's
We're
just getting there, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Once we're there, it'll be better. We'll have things to talk about other than the Chiefs players being chooches. We'll have all kinds of stuff to talk about, you know? Like, what do they do at OTAs, you know?
Yeah.
Who's going to be the guy this year?
Look, who's going to be
now
the
that
horned up one? Who are everybody going to love this year? Do you
Right,
think it's going to be the usual
P-Ryan's gone.
suspects? I know
P-Ryan's
P-Ryan's
gone.
out, so I mean,
They can't be him.
do you
Well,
feel like
you know,
P-Ryan's going to be back about 50 times during the season?
Is he going to be like Derek Gore?
Right. Is he the guy they just keep signing back over and over again?
And if he's not, every time like we need maybe anything at running back, every Chiefs fan in the world's going to be like, why don't we get Michael P. Ryan back? He was good.
Kareem Hunt.
Let's get Kareem Hunt back.
I love Kareem Hunt.
Kareem Hunt was a beast, bro.
Dude, he could have been great if he just would have been a slap nut.
I know. It happens to the best.
Could you
of them.
imagine having Kareem Hunt all this time? You know what I mean?
I mean,
Like,
he was-
I love Pacheco, don't get me wrong, but could you just imagine a prime Kareem Hunt, like 5-6 years into his career, just
he's
like
probably what,
destroying?
about 30 now? He's hitting the 30 mark. So he'd be
Yeah,
like,
for running back years, he's like 72.
right. But what do you think they're going to do with the running back room? So I was thinking about that. They were already at a point where we're like, what do you think they're going to do? Because right now your RB2's Clyde. They haven't signed back McKinnon. Like, then we were thinking, well, there's LaMichael P. Ryan, there's Deneric Prince.
Keith says the rugby guy is going to be the popular one this camp.
Yeah, I think so too.
So
I
he
think
might
so,
be.
too.
Look, LRZ, Reese, Zamet Bobby. That's the guy that may do it this year. But look, did you guys see some of his like stuff that he was running against air in the first little rookie mini camp? Guys, if he runs that straight up and he takes one hit, he's going to die.
Yeah, he's got.
They will be stretching him off the field if he don't learn how to run with a little bit of leverage and with his pads down, because he is going to get lit up in this league.
Dude, he's got it to tweak his game a little bit. Like, it's obviously different.
But he recognizes it, Steve, and that gives me a little hope.
That's what I do like about the kid is like he's not as delusional as a lot of our fans are. Like, where everybody's like, oh man, this kid's going to come in here and be the rookie of the year. He's taking over Pacheco's job. Like, you know, everybody's just delusional. But he's not. He was like, look, man, I got to learn the game. I don't even know the game all the way. I got to learn the game.
Man.
Then I got to learn, you know, the playbook. And he's like, he's not a route runner. There's a lot for him to do, man.
Right. Jay says, wonder if El Travador is making an appearance this
He better.
year.
Why wouldn't he?
Why wouldn't he?
Call me El Travidor.
He'll be back. He'll be back.
El Travidor. He's coming back. Doesn't Travidor have to come back? I mean, it's in his contract, isn't it? Every offseason he has to go mustache.
If I'm not mistaken, every offseason there's been El Travidor. We've won a Super Bowl.
That's why he's got to come back with it. He's got to come in strong.
Travidor will be there. I have faith in that.
Yeah.
Don't lose yourself, Travis. Don't lose yourself out in the spotlight trying to be movie star. Don't forget where your roots are, and that's El Travidor.
Your roots are in, where's it at? In the Heights. What's it called up there? In the Heights in Cleveland, Cleveland Heights. Wait, it's not that what it's called. What is it called? What's his high school called?
It's literally Cleveland Heights, bro.
No, I thought there was another name for it.
I don't know. I don't care. It doesn't matter.
Come on,
but El
man.
Travidor's got to be there. That's all there is to it.
Travidor.
Yeah. So what have you guys been up to in the chat? It's been a few days. What's everybody up to this summer? Well, spring. It's almost summer. We're getting there rapidly.
Richie says, how many games will Wanye miss, if any? I don't think they're going to get suspended for that.
I don't either.
Does it break the league conduct policy, though? I don't know.
They don't even test for
Yeah,
pot.
I don't think they do.
Yeah.
They
don't
just
do
kind of let them do what
THC
they
anymore.
want.
Like ever since Josh Gordon, they were like, dude, we can't just keep making
like,
these
bro,
guys miss.
Do y'all want to snort some coke? Go for it. We're not even going to test it anymore. Like,
Do
the
what
only
you
thing we're
want.
testing for is what? They're going to test for like that drug that they take in creatine or whatever it's called. That makes you train a little harder. That's the only thing they care about.
Yeah, for sure.
Brenda, you are 1,000,000,000% correct. They have too much free time on their hands.
We got to get some structure back for these guys.
Come on, baby.
They are not to be trusted alone.
Right. Shane, what's up, Shane? He says, Mike and Steve, what's up, guys?
up?
I'm glad you're covering this. It's sad because they were so close to Missouri border where weed is. Yeah. Dude, they should have just, here's what they should have done, Steve. They should have just ran from the cops and crossed the border. No, we don't want to be Rashee Rice. We're not going to run from the police.
Oh,
We're
yeah,
not condoning
we
that.
didn't even mention Xavier Worthy's getting his car stolen.
That's a non-story, though. Does it matter? I remember when Dale Carter was out here, like, shooting up places when he was a rookie. Didn't he get robbed at gunpoint or something?
Well, look, I think the Chiefs organization and Chiefs fans are more sensitive to, like, crazy stuff because of the Javon Belcher thing. So, like, anytime there's, like, crazy stuff going on, it's, like, very touchy, especially if any kind of violent stuff. Like, I don't know. It's just, like, the Chiefs have had it rough.
Was it really just New Heights and we just totally missed
Yeah, I
that
don't
one?
know.
No,
Sure.
I know what I was trying to say. I was trying to Shaker Heights. I think that was the high school they went to. Right?
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, I was trying to think of the high school. Okay. But yeah, Chief Kelsey, you made me feel stupid because I was like, wait, was it just called New Heights?
We got a 2-bomb from our boy Enrique in the house. What's up, Enrique? Hope you're doing well, my man.
Let's go, Enrique.
As
Look at
always,
this guy.
looking snazzy in his all chiefed up hoodie there. Julia says this off season is all chiefed up, baby.
It's horrible.
It is. It's just been crazy, and like just having subject matter to talk about, like on the podcast and stuff. It's been weird because like as far as football news, there's not a lot of it, but like there's always something stupid to talk about, I guess. Like we covered the Butker thing, push people's buttons, made them sad, hurt their feelings and things like that.
It really
That was
hurt some
fun.
people, didn't it?
It did. It really hurt them. One guy said, Mike, what did that one guy say? He said, I'm unsubscribing.
Yeah. He said, I'm unsubscribing from your channel.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, yeah? Well, why are you still here then? There's the door.
Click the button.
There's
See
the
ya.
door.
Dude, it's funny. Like, wow, people just don't need to get butt hurt, man.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Like, I think
what
everybody's got to chill.
I think the only thing that we were trying to say about everything is this. Let's just all get along. We all don't have to think alike.
It's so stupid,
Steve,
bro.
me and you don't think alike on everything.
No,
I don't require anybody. I don't require anybody to be here and talk Chiefs. I don't require you to be a certain way or think a certain way. I don't care. We're talking about the Chiefs. In the
But
eyes
you know
of
what?
the
You know what
Chiefs
I hate the
kingdom, we're all the
most,
same,
Mike.
baby.
You know what I hate the most about that
What?
situation, and you know we talked about it in our last video. So if y'all want to hear more about it, you can go watch the video. YouTube didn't like that video very much. They're like, you guys are saying things that are making people sad. We're not going to put it out here, but you know, y'all can go watch it if you'd like to see more about it. But I will say this one thing, and I don't think I got to get this point across in the video.
Oh,
and
God.
what I
Do
really
I need to play
hate,
music for you?
no, what I really hate the most about it is it was all like nothing that he said aligned with anything people were mad about. It's like they interpreted what he said like they knew what he was thinking in his head. That's what pisses me off the most. It's like, well, he meant this. And it's like, did he say that? No. Did he mean that? How do you know if he freaking mean that? Like, what are we talking about? Like, you all are out here trying to be like, well, I think what he was saying was this. And it's like, what are we doing? What are we freaking doing? Like, it pisses me off. Like, how do people think that they know what's in your head? Like, to the point to where you don't even have to say things. They'll just make it up. It's crazy.
Steve, this is just what people do. This is what the internet's done to the society.
It makes my head hurt.
This is what people do to us all the time. They're like, why did you say that? Why did you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, you know what? I don't care because we got a gifted membership from Iron Price, baby.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's do it. You know what he gets for that, Mike?
For the thousands here in attendance tonight and for the millions watching at home on TV. Oh, let's get ready to suck it!
Let's go, baby.
Let's go. By the way, does anybody know what kind of cars Xavier Worthy had that got stolen?
I think it was a
able to
Hellcat.
found this out.
I think it was I'm not
It
for
was
sure.
not. That is the most cliched car that every rookie
For
in this
real.
league gets is
No,
a
for real,
Dodge
I
Charger
think-
Hellcat.
It wasn't a. It was. I
Was
think
it
it might have been a
Challenger?
Challenger Hellcat, maybe. I could be wrong, but I think that's what he had.
I've driven a Dodge Charger, the new model.
A Dodge Charger.
A Dodge Charger, and I've driven a Dodge Challenger. And I don't like either of them. To me, it's like you're driving a boat. They're like the biggest things ever. It looks like the
Challengers definitely have that.
dude.
Big, long
When you're
hood.
looking out over like the steering wheel, it looks like the car is literally like 47 feet long. I'm like, who likes this? It's weird.
Yeah.
It's odd. I just don't like it. I don't know why everybody likes those cars so much. It doesn't make sense to me. Get you a nice get you a car that stays in the shop a lot. Get you a Land Rover, a Range Rover.
Get your car. It stays in the shop.
You got the
You
money.
can't,
Go
you,
get a
Mike, you
Beamer.
can't be out causing trouble if your car's in the shop.
That's why I want you to get it.
Right? Yeah.
Get your car in the shops. You have to keep your ass at home.
Mike, Julia said find out when these OTAs start because she's sick of this crap.
I'm pretty sure, man. Let me
Like,
just look.
when do we football again?
I think it's this week.
When do we do less Grand Theft Autoing and start footballing?
It's Monday, I believe.
Is it?
Monday, May 20th. They start phase 3 of their off-season program.
Good
Phase
deal.
3 consists of the next 4 weeks of the program. Teams may conduct a total of 10 days of organized team practice activities, or, as we like to call them, OTAs. No live contact is permitted, but 7-on-7, 9-on-7, and even 11-on-11 drills are permitted if you so dare. This is the stupidest thing I've ever read.
What are
Who
you
wrote
reading?
this? I'm going to tell you who wrote that.
Who wrote it?
Stickly.
Stickly.
I'm not going to throw him under the bus for writing such stupid stuff.
You're not going to be mean like that.
I'm not going to do it, man.
Don't be a bully.
Isn't it stupid though? Like you can't, like they permit how you're allowed to practice. You can do 11-on-11, 9-on-9s, and 6-on-6s.
Right.
But how
Yeah.
dare you if you want to go 7-on-7? You cannot.
I'm sure
go
that had
2-on-2.
something to do with the players union.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let's go 2-on-2. Can we play like? It's just Mahomes.
They should just play basketball. Y'all just play a pickup
Mahomes
game.
can. It's in his contract.
Oh, yeah, that's
Dude-
right.
Dude can't even step on the court, man.
Man. Damn, Alistair, you haven't even subbed to the channel yet? Bro, you've been around for a long time.
People, man, yeah, but they've made YouTube in a way where if you watch, like, say, our video, they will pop up like a new video, right? As long as you stop. If you stop watching us, we'll disappear into oblivion, and then you're like, wait, where'd those guys go? You got to remember. But they've kind of made it so easy to just click, click, click. People forget that they're not
But I thought we
subscribed.
were friends, Alistair. Nah, we appreciate you, man. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about like all the Butker, like controversial stuff. It's like hot button topics.
Back on Butker.
A lot of, no, that's not what we're talking about. But like, that's the comment I was reading on the side. I didn't bring it up, but
Gotcha.
I don't think like here on this channel, we're not afraid to cover hot button topics because we could give a rat's ass what anybody thinks about what we think. You know what I'm saying?
You can't
like
cancel people that don't care. Look,
we're
by the
uncancelable.
way, listen to
you
this.
Do demonetize us? You already did.
There were a
Cares?
bunch. Look, if you read the comments about the whole video, there was a lot of you guys that said you appreciated the way we handled it and you respected it. And look, I respect you guys for watching. And again, I don't care what side of the fence you're on. I don't care. Just
Yeah,
don't
you're allowed
do
to have an opinion.
Let's just not
Good
do the
God.
name calling and things like that. Which, by the way, the people were calling us all kinds of things. We were misogynist, but then the guy went ahead and told us that we could not read like a little girl. That was his exact quote. So he just insinuated little girls cannot read.
Who's the misogynist? You know what? That's one of the words I hate the most
what
in the
are we
English language.
doing?
Is that one of the words that like there's a couple of words that really just like grind my gears. Misogynist, misogyny's one.
Bigot.
Like the
I
word
was called that about
bigot.
7 times.
I hate those stupid
Those
words.
are words that you have to be taught because they think it wins an argument instantly.
Well, I'm superior to you. I'm so
Yeah, listen,
highly moral.
Get off the superiority like soapbox. Get off your high horse and come down here with everyone else.
Yeah.
Steve, about time done gifted a sub. It's about time, baby.
Oh, about time, baby. Hey, Mike, you know what?
What?
I think that he should get a horn for that. What do you
Horn
think?
him up.
We're all horned up, baby.
We're horned up
Let's
here.
go. Appreciate you.
Let's
About
go.
time.
Appreciate you, man.
About time. We get them shoes ordered.
The shoes are already on their way. It's about
Uh-oh.
time. Your shoes will be there in it should just be a few days, to be honest. Nike
go.
got those bad boys to me in 2 nights. I ordered
Really?
them, and Nike was like, "Do you want me to hand deliver this to you, sir?" And I was like,
Let's do it. You know?
Bring it on down. They had a guy pull up at 2 a.m. on a horseback, and he hand delivered it. He said, "Mr. Williams, I have your shoes," and I was like, "Appreciate it, brother."
Awesome, because we need those. We need to send them about time. And we got another gifted
Ron.
membership from our boy Ron. What's up, Ron?
Ron,
Julia says, I missed the time your segment. It's
we're
coming
definitely
back.
bringing that back. Look,
coming
the
back.
reason a lot of these segments kind of died down a little bit was because the YouTube demonetization that kind of killed all of our time to create and things. And then the off season gets kind of weird, like during like free agency and things. Like all the times yours would have just been like, which wide receiver are we going to get? We'd have just had to answer that 47 times.
Right.
So, but we can do it now.
Well, I think we're going to get back to a more structured show. Like that way you know what you're getting when you get it. So we have some ideas, maybe some new things to throw in. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. We got to get it all together.
Wait, Gary, what are you talking about? What do you say me? Wait, what do you say me? He said me. I had a problem the way you two treated the Christmas game, but I'm over it. Wait, how did we treat we hated Christmas? They did
Man,
ruin Christmas.
They ruined my Christmas.
I'm not going to back down from that. They just flat out
Yeah,
ruined it.
Gary, I can't.
They grinched it. Maybe he was angry because of the way we just dogged on him. Look,
they
I'm going to
ruined my
dog
Christmas.
on you if you deserve a dogging.
Yeah. Mike, like I've said this a
I
million
think
times.
people forget, Steve, that we're fans first. Like, we're not trying to be like ESPN anchors where we sit in the middle and be like, try to say there's other channels that do that, believe me. They don't offer opinions and they'll sit there and be like, well, I respect the Chargers and I respect the Raiders. And
the Chiefs
nobody
tried
cares.
really hard today.
Like, dude, I'm not doing it. If the
Yeah, we
Chiefs look
can't.
like crap, I'm going to just say, hey, look, I think the Chiefs look like crap today.
But anyway, like I said, and I've said this before on this channel, is I'm like a living Buddy the Elf. I love Christmas. I get really excited at Christmas, and last year I was excited. I'm like, the Chiefs are playing on Christmas. I get to beat the Raiders on my favorite day of the year. And then, like, I was like, it's going to be
Richie.
the best. It's going to be the best day ever. Later, Richie. I was like, it's going to be the best day ever. It's going to be Christmas. I'm going to be pumped. And not only that, but they're going to beat the Raiders on Christmas, and it's going to make it even better. And then they were like, oh, yeah? Well, we're going to get our ass kicked by the Raiders on Christmas. How you like them apples?
You You get coal in your stocking.
That's what
That's
they
what they
did.
did.
They
And
ruined
you
my
know
day.
what? I'm
Gary.
over it. And look, Julia's right. Steve, in the Bengals regular season game of 2022, he lost his mind.
Not me.
This dude come on here and just flat lost his mind.
I did not.
You said that you hated. I mean, you flat out said you was gonna like drive to the stadium and start kicking people in the balls. Like that's how angry you was.
Nah, no, it wasn't.
You picked a fight with you picked a fight with Juan Thornhill.
No, I didn't.
Wasn't it Juan Thornhill or Colin Saunders? You picked a fight with one of them. You challenged them to a street fight.
I was gonna. What? No, it was Colin Saunders got his butt hurt though. No. It was one. It was Juan Thornhill, and Colin Saunders came to his rescue like a dark prince.
Yeah, he was like, "We tried
out of the
so
blue."
hard.
He's like, "Yeah, like we tried really hard though." What? No, you didn't. I watched the game. That's why I was mad because you didn't try. You didn't care.
That was the time that it felt like the Bengals were in like playoff form. And the Chiefs were right there after all that smack talking, and then they just went out there and laid down. Wasn't that the game that Justin Reed talked smack?
Yeah, dude.
And then they just didn't even back it up.
See, Karth knows what happened on Christmas. Hate, double hate.
Ron said, I went to that cold-ass Christmas game and was surrounded by Raiders fans.
Bet that sucked.
That had to blow.
No, I think that's what I was so pissed off about with the Bengals game was because it was like all the trash talk. What?
He threatened them. Steve was just flat out threatening
I
people
did
that
not.
day.
No, but they did get their butts hurt a little bit on Twitter. I do remember that, and that's okay.
Yeah. They're like, don't say we didn't try.
Do you know what's funny about that?
What's up, Tyler?
They couldn't even stay on the team, so whatever. That's what I think about it. Mike, we got a 5 bomb.
Let's go.
From our boy Flip. What's up, Flip? He says,
Flip.
Xavier Worthy versus Hollywood. Who do y'all think will excel more under Coach Reed and Mahomes, and who will have better separation?
Who's got better
I like the question, Flip. I think right off the rip, I got to go Hollywood. He's got the experience. I think he's a better all-around receiver at the moment, obviously, because of the experience. He's literally maybe just like a fraction of a second behind in speed, if he is. I'm going Hollywood early. So this year, I think it's.
I think it's just Hollywood in general. I think Hollywood's actually going to flourish under this offense.
I think he will too. I think he's going to have a year, man.
Do you think he's going to come right out of the gate hot, or do you think it's going to be kind of like he has to build into it a little bit?
I think he'll come out of the gate pretty hot. To be honest, I do.
This is all I'm hoping for: a nice, healthy off season for him and a healthy season. Like, I think if he just stays healthy and he can learn through camp and build that chemistry with Mahomes, I think sky is the limit for Hollywood Brown, for real. Like, he could work himself. I mean, he could be a 1,000-yard receiver here. I mean, why
think so
couldn't he
too,
be?
man.
But,
and I think also that Hollywood is going to ultimately help Xavier Worthy in a couple different ways. Not only can he kind of be a mentor for him because they're very similar receivers, and obviously he's got the experience, so he can kind of take him under his wing and guide him along. But also, I think that what Andy figures out with Hollywood Brown, like what works with him, that's what's going to work for Xavier Worthy down the road. So I think like Hollywood being on the team and them drafting Worthy is actually a pretty smart idea because they're very similar. So if Hollywood works great in this offense, then awesome. If they can't sign him back though, like if he becomes too expensive or gets a better opportunity, he moves on, then you have Hollywood sort of in Xavier Worthy. So I like it. I think it's a cool situation they're in. Appreciate the 5
Flip. Scott says he helps Hollywood so good he gets that 2-year extension. I do too. I would love for him to be good and Brett Veach actually sign him to a 2 or 3 year deal and let him play here for a few years. Me and Steve liked Hollywood, and actually, if you remember, he was a trade target that I was throwing out last year. Like, can we please go get him?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We were throwing him out a lot for a trade target. Didn't work. But I think the Chiefs were actually trying to trade for him at one point, right? Wasn't it the draft the year before? There was some rumors about that? Or was that for D-Hop? That was D-Hop.
Well, it was also Hollywood was in the mix, but it wasn't like
Should we do a
nothing that was
D-Hop video?
reported.
Is it about that time?
Chief Kelsey, if you're out there,
He's out here.
would you like to have a D-Hop video?
Chief Kelsey, come on the show. Let's do a D-Hop video.
Mike, we got a 2-bomb from our boy TGZ.
Let's go, baby.
Please tell us why Luis Reese, damn it, will be the MVP this
I
season.
can't.
Yeah. I'll tell you why. You know why, Mike? Because he's a rugby player and he's fast. So not only is he going to be the MVP, but he might be Super Bowl MVP.
Here's why he's the MVP.
In both.
He's gonna be the last guy that fights himself onto the roster. And then he's going to be a kick return specialist, and he's going to return 7 kick returns this year. Every other week, he's having a kick return. And you say, daggone it, that's why he's the freaking MVP.
Right. So we thought, like, hey, maybe since Xavier Worthy, he could be the next X Factor.
Yeah.
Like Dante Hall, like he's X Factor 2.0. But maybe it's not. Maybe it's Reese Dammit.
Yeah. Let's go. I think it's Reese. Mike, what's up, man? Good evening, brother. Glad you could be here. Hey, by the way, thanks for everybody for being here. I know it's a Saturday evening. You got stuff to do. You got families. You got movies to watch on Netflix. I don't know what you got to do.
Baby. It felt good outside today.
Dude, me and Steve were about to cancel and go play mini golf. I ain't going to lie.
We went out to dinner, and
we were like, dude, you just want to go play some mini golf?
There was this new mini golf course they put over there. It looked really nice. It looked cool, and it was right by the restaurant we were at, and we were like, should we just cancel and play mini golf?
I don't think. I mean, I think the people like to get on here and talk Chiefs, but I think our people would also be like, give those guys a night off to play mini golf.
Man, I
think they'd be fine with it.
I've been working since my eyeballs opened today. Like the first time I sat down today was when we sat down to eat.
Dude, you know what sucked about me last night is I had to drive. I did my driving job, right? I get all the way ready, and I'm at my last drop, Steve. I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I'm about to go home. I forgot to pick one up, and I had to backtrack 45 minutes one way. I didn't get home till 3 a.m.
Why'd you do that?
I should have just not even picked it up. But I didn't want some poor animal somewhere to die because I didn't get his blood checked.
TGZ with another 2. He says, dang, I'm all horned up now, baby. He's horned up for that MVP season from Luis Reese Dammit. How do you even say it? Is it Luis Reese Dammit or Luis?
Or Luis? Or maybe it's Louis. Or maybe
it could be Louis. What is he? Is he from England?
New Zealand? Where's he from?
I don't know.
Let's look it up. Hey, I'm going to look up his Wikipedia page.
Yeah. I'm going to get to know him personally.
I'm about to call his freaking photographer.
I'm going to hire a private investigator to follow around Luis Reese Dammit.
I'm going to find his girlfriend named Xandra Pohl, who's a supermodel.
He's from Wales, Brenda says.
Wales.
The UK, baby.
He was born in Penarth, United Kingdom. Penarth,
he was born horned up, bro.
He was born in the city of Payne, baby. He's horned up. He's got a little pee-pee on the pee-pee. And he played for Wales at an international level, scoring 14 tries and 32 caps. Steve, what in the world is 14 tries and 32 caps?
I have no freaking clue.
Dude, rugby is a different world. And should we start watching rugby? Should we have a rugby channel?
Should we? Nope. Daniel Akers with the 5-bomb. What's up, Daniel? Good to see you, my man. Appreciate the support from you guys, by the way. Put some legendaries in the chat for everybody that's donated so far, making this a good night. Man, we've been working hard on new ideas for the channel and things, so I think you guys should be excited for what's coming up for the rest of the off season and maybe into the next season. But the more support we get and the more time we can take away from like our real job and like do this, like, cause we do more hours on this content than we do our actual jobs.
Sadly,
it's crazy.
Hey,
so
our jobs hate us.
But if we had more time, I think we got some really cool ideas. Just we wouldn't be able to execute them unless we would be able to go full time. But I think we have a big picture for the channel. I think you guys will like it.
Here's one idea we're throwing. We wanted to just have a live 24/7 webcam where we just stalk Andy Reid. So like we'll be like one day we'll be in his bush.
You didn't even consult with me about this.
We'll be in like the bushes. Some days we're monitoring while he's eating a cheeseburger. We'll just be at the table over like live webcammed. We're like, Big Red's eating a tasty cheese.
Hey, look at him.
We'll do ASMR. Big Red. He's having a cheeseburger.
Yeah.
And then he's going to be like, listen, get away from me.
What's up, Craig? Good to see you.
Craig,
Good to
what's up,
see
man?
you. Appreciate the kind words. Yeah. No, we have some ideas for a big picture for the channel. I think it'll be really cool when we can execute all the ideas and deliver it to you all. I think you'll be excited. I think you'll like it.
Well, we're definitely bringing back, we're going to start doing more shows where we're bringing back the segments. Like, we're going to hit the news topics, obviously, and we're going to give, that's a difference. So, look, you can get news. Everybody's going to get the news. Like, that's one thing me and Steve talk about. We're like, look, people automatically, like, you're getting alerts on your phone 24/7. Like, people know the news. You know what I mean? Like, so
we
it's
ain't
hard
breaking the news to you.
Yeah, it's hard to do that. So, like, what we do is kind of give our thoughts. This is a place to come give our thoughts on it. And if you don't like us,
you guys can give
then
your
guess
thoughts.
what? You don't like our thoughts. So, but yeah, it's not really the news. We're just talking about it. We're a talk show, kind of. But, you know, and I've kind of forgot what I was going to say because I started raging about that. But what I was, and I don't even remember now that I think about it. I'm so old.
You're having an old man moment.
I'm so old. Oh, yeah. But we're bringing back the segments. So, yeah, we are doing Times Yours. We're bringing that back because I thought that was fun. And it gives everybody that watches our channel and wants to chime in, we give them a platform to chime in a little bit. And look, if you guys say something dumb, we'll let everybody criticize y'all.
Y'all can say whatever you want
like
in the
they
chat,
get us, Steve. You know? Dude, I've been called some names this week, baby. It's been bad.
We also, and I'm not going to go much further into this, but we also have a segment we might be working on that's just the weekly team meeting from the Chiefs. But we won't get into that yet.
A team meeting?
Yeah, the Chiefs are going to have a team meeting once a week, too. So
I'm going to bring on... I tried to get Justin Reed to come on this show, and just I wanted to call it, Who Does Justin Reed Hate This Week? I think that'd be funny.
I clicked the wrong thing. Hey, Julia said she came here for the takes, but she stayed because of the spoiled milk. Are we going to have Mike drink spoiled milk again just to get somebody
I don't want to drink spoiled milk, but I mean, I'll just start
subscribe
drinking
to the
milk.
damn channel.
That was gross that time, dude.
Yep. Okay, so OTA is kicking off soon. Camp up after that. We've talked about who we think could be the camp darling. Of course, Luis Ruiz-Sammet is a good pick, by the way. I think if Nico is healthy and makes a little comeback, I think he'll be another one that people really back up on. What are you excited to see from camp, Mike? Like, is it like a certain position battle, certain player that you want to see?
There's
more
a lot
from?
of good position battles, man.
Yeah, what do you got? What are you excited to see?
I mean, I'm excited to see is Kadarius Toney, is Sky Moore going to figure it out, or are they just going to suck and sneak into oblivion? So, and then you've also on their heels, you've got a little bit of Justin Ross. You maybe got some Nico. Mm-hmm. So I want to see how they push. You know, is Sky and Kadarius Toney just going to lay down, or are they going to step up? Like, so I'm ready to see that, and then I'm ready to see about the two guys on their heels. Also, we got a little offensive line battle with Wanye, the weed smoker, and Kingsley Suamataia. We've got that one going.
I think Kingsley's going to start.
Okay,
that's where I'm at.
The running back room, like, what are we going to do there? It's kind of weird. I'm curious. Does Prince maybe get a little bit of action here this year to see what he's done?
Right.
There's a lot of good defense.
While you're there, before you move on to the defense.
Okay.
TGZ says his current thoughts on who will be RB3. So it's kind of weird. I'm kind of wondering what the Chiefs are loading up to do here with cutting P. Ryan. They already, like I said, they didn't get McKinnon back. So you're kind of looking at the for sure guys that will be on the roster is going to be Pacheco and Clyde. Obviously, they're going to roll with 3, probably 4. A lot of times I'll do 4. I think that is good for one UDFA, Carson Steele. I think that opens up a spot for him. But he's still got to perform. He's still got to make the team, right? He's on uphill battle for any UDFA to make the squad. So, but I think it opens up possibilities for him. Maybe someone that gets cut, maybe they sign somebody. If I kind of feel like if they sign another player off the cuff, it's going to be a running back because it's the only position that I see that's just kind of.
Do you see
it's
Imani
lacking.
Bailey making this team?
Somebody was actually. I almost took that question earlier, and I'm sorry because I have an old man brain. I forgot, but someone had asked what we thought about Imani Bailey, and.
You've also got Keontae Ingram that they signed last year, but I don't think neither one of them have enough pop.
I don't either. I think Keontae's too slow. He's a slower, bigger back. And then I think Amani Bailey's so extremely undersized. And
Yeah, he's
I
not the
don't know.
fastest either.
Right,
Yeah, I mean, his
so-
RAS score was like a 1, but does it really matter? I mean, sometimes that can surprise you. He runs hard. I don't know. To me, I feel like right now, I would give the leg up to Prince. He's been with the Chiefs now. This is going to make year 2. He's been working
Right.
all offseason. He had a little bit of a shot last year, but it just didn't really materialize when he was on the field. I think he's going to see a lot of snaps in the preseason, maybe. So maybe Prince sneaks in there. And you got Prince, Clyde, Pop, and maybe Carson Steele makes the team. Take that
I see a
running back
lot
/
of
fullback.
people in the chat that are a little horned up about Carson Steele. Is it because he's like, do you actually like him as a player, or do you just like him because he looks like Thor and he has a pet Crocky J? Is that what it is?
Yeah, he's like the Steve Irwin of the Chiefs.
If you took Thor and crossed him with Steve Irwin, that's what you got. You got Carson Steele. Is that what we're like? He is like a little.
Cassie says she rolls with Prince.
Yeah, I
Kathy
mean
knows
Prince.
what's up.
It's funny because a lot of people were big horned up on Prince last year, and he didn't really make a splash at all. And he kind of, when he got his chances in the preseason and stuff, he looked a little stiff, I guess is the word for it. Like it just wasn't what people had thought.
Like Blue Chew stiff?
Yeah, but we all saw like the raw ability he has with different drills he was being recorded doing, just speed and athleticism, right? So everybody was really excited, and it's kind of died down. But I'm with them as well. I think that this could be another one that pops back up. And now, like you said, he's had a whole year under his belt. He's learned a little bit. He's probably worked on the things that kept him from getting PT last year. So we'll see. He could be on the squad for sure.
Yeah, Prince had some. Alistair says that he ran a little
that's kind
too
of what
upright.
I meant. Yeah, I agree. And you said that about LRZ. I mean, very similar.
When you're a running back, you have to. You don't want to be straight up and down. It's just you're not going to last very long taking hits like that. Like you got to protect yourself. You got to protect the ball a little bit. Joe asked, "Have we seen anything about FAU working out with Tamba?"
He did.
And I've seen some of it. Do you think FAU is going to kind of like have a little step up this year? Do you think it's going to be better than last year? I don't know how it could get worse.
Well,
Like, he
I
really
don't think he didn't
all
play
that
bad
much.
last year. He just didn't get a whole lot of reps, really.
Right. He did early, and then it just didn't kind of materialize. But then he made
Right.
some plays in the Super Bowl, I think.
Hey, AFC Championship game made a great play on a running play. I think that Felix has there's a lot there. Like I think a pretty high ceiling for Felix. Started slow, didn't get a whole lot of snaps, but it was a very oversaturated room, really, to be honest, especially when Omenihu came back. So the thing was, like, he had his chance to shine early, but it's really hard to come out and just, like, dominate your first 6 NFL games. You know?
Yeah,
Like,
that's
he's
true.
still taking a big step from college to NFL, trying to get comfortable, and then, I don't know, I do think that Felix, like, me and Mike both liked him coming out of college. We thought he had like a really nice arsenal of pass rush moves. He was very well rounded. I thought he was a decent pick at 32. I think that the hometown thing kind of played into it a little, but I do think that Felix was a good prospect. And I don't know, man. I think working with Tamba and stuff like that's smart, and just showing like that you want to get better. That's a good thing. We saw that happen with George Karlaftis, and it improved his game tremendously. So I don't know. I have high hopes for Felix that he can like actually be a contributor this year.
Felix. I hope Felix does well. Stephen James, new member, baby.
Steve-O.
Steve-O's always been a member. I think he's just
Yeah.
re-upping it, baby.
Hope you're doing well, Steve-O. I ain't seen you in a minute. I see your comments, though, on the videos.
Yep.
Heck yeah, man. Speaking of drinking that curdled milk, Steve-O's the one that sent it to you. So Julia is only a subscriber to the channel because Steven sent you the milk that spoiled that you drank.
That was a
Weird how
time.
things work out, huh?
Yeah, it's like the butterfly effect, you know, just a little bit of milk. Spoiled, clabbered milk.
So a lot of people talking about Reese Zammit, Mike. And, of course, we kind of touched on that a minute ago, where he acknowledges, hey, I got a lot to learn. I got to learn the game, just the basics. I got to learn a playbook. Probably going to be a running back because he don't know routes. He's not ran routes. He looked pretty bad trying to run routes, but in his defense, he's never done it. Tremendous athlete, very fast. What do you think the chances are that he can get a roster spot? And I know that the Cards, they're stacked against him, right? Like he's got an uphill battle, so it's gonna be tough for him. But he seems like he's embracing the challenge, and he understands there's a long way to go, and it's gonna be tough for him. So I think that helps. But what do you think the chances are he were to be able to even get, say, an RB4 spot if they take 4?
I don't think it's high. I think he's gonna end up on the practice squad. That's where I think he'll be.
I think so too.
Now, look, he could prove me wrong and come out and just be like in the the preseason when they start doing all the return stuff. That could be where he shines.
I hope so.
But when it comes to actually carrying the ball and stuff, I don't know. We'll see that a little bit when he gets the pads on. I think you'll see it a little bit, but until then, I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm curious. Do you think they're going to bring back at any point? Take a stab at bringing back Jerick McKinnon, or do you think McKinnon's just retired?
I don't
because
know.
McKinnon's not signed with nobody else, so is he even wanting to play football anymore?
Yeah, I think so. He's probably, fishing around for the biggest contract he can get. He is late in his career. Of course, these guys got to stack their money, and that's what they have for the rest of their life, right? So, I mean, maybe he's looking for the best deal he can get. Will he come back to the Chiefs? I think it's still on the table. I think the Chiefs would have him back if he wanted to come back at a decent price. Why wouldn't they? I mean, McKinnon's going to contribute if he's on the squad. I mean, he's the best pass blocking back. He's just very smart when it comes to that, picking up blitzes, things like that. He's also leaks out of the backfield, great receiving back. He's just older. He's older, and he's been hurt a lot.
Yeah,
and
I think Brett Veach is he's in a youth movement.
He is, and you can't pay someone like that a lot of money. But I think if he came back on another 1-year deal or something for cheap, I don't think they would say no. I think it's a possibility still.
Yeah, I guess so. I think they want to see what they got with the young guys. I think they want to give Imani Bailey a fair shake. I think they want to give Deneric Prince another shake. They're going to look at Carson Steele. I just think they're going to look at just about everybody they've got. Now, why they cut Perine, no idea. But I still think there's something there. Like, I could still see him signing back for camp or something. Like, I think these are just all roster moves at certain points. But
I think so.
We'll see.
As far as looking forward a little bit to the actual season, you've seen a lot of the offseason acquisitions. You've seen who people drafted and who had good drafts, who didn't. What do you think? Is there any team in the AFC outside of the Bengals, the Bills, which the Bills are going to take a step back, which is funny, but maybe the Texans? Like, is there a team in the AFC that you think has embraced like a youth movement that could kind of be a contender this year out of the blue? Like, how no one really expected the Texans to go off like they did last year.
Right. You're talking about every year there's a worst to first, just about.
Yeah, there's got to be somebody come out. Like, do you think that the Jags get it back together? Like, they're an anomaly to me because they have a really good coach with Doug Peterson. I think Trevor Lawrence is a good quarterback when he's playing at his best, but he's not had the best of luck either. I don't know. Is there any team out there that you think could be competing this year that isn't just the same-o, same-o?
I think the NFC South's got one. I could see the Colts. If Anthony Richardson can kind of stay healthy, I could see them maybe.
What about the Steelers?
The Steelers possibly, but that's a tough division.
It is, but they had a monster draft. They have 2 quarterbacks now that are better than who they had last year. Because I
just don't see the Steelers at the end of the year. Well, I guess you'll see on Christmas because they're probably fighting for a playoff spot.
Mike, they better not ruin my Christmas.
Should we drive to Pittsburgh and watch that one on Christmas?
The only reason I don't hate on the Steelers is because I want their coach when Andy retires.
You're trying to get Mike Tomlin still?
If Andy retires, I'll take him.
He's not retiring anytime this decade.
No, but I mean, you have to think like he's.
So that means Mike Tomlin might retire before Andy.
I don't think so though. I mean, how much? Andy's got to have a good 10 years on Tomlin.
I think Tomlin's like what, 60, 50 something.
Well, Andy's 65.
Weird. He don't even look it though.
No, let's see. Let me look real quick. How old is Mike Tomlin?
Tomlin's going to end up being like 42 or something.
He's 52. So Andy's got 13 years on him. So, yeah, we could still take him. We can still have him whenever Andy leaves.
Jeez.
Kevin Capel says that the Texans will regress this year. And you know what's funny, Kevin Capel, is not only did they go out and super team the hell out of it and sign everyone they could possibly get, I kind of agree. I think that it's going to be tough for Stroud to match that rookie season. Like, teams know him a little better now. Like, we all even saw it with Mahomes. Like, do you remember when the narrative was, oh, everybody figured out Mahomes now, he's never going to be good anymore? Do you remember that? So even Mahomes had a little setback.
C.J. Stroud's going to struggle a little bit, I believe, this year.
I do like Stroud, though. I think he's a good quarterback, and I think he'll overcome that. I do.
Right.
But I do think it'll be a little slower this year for him. It's going to be where that's when you really figure out if a quarterback's going to be something or not. Because we've had a lot of flash in the pan guys in year 1, year 2. And then, like, can he get through that? Like, when teams figure him out a little bit and he has to, tweak his game and elevate his game and get better and smarter and everything like that. Like, I think he can, though. I do think Stroud's in a good position.
Texans have a tough schedule. Iceberg said that. Texans have a brutal schedule. I'm pretty sure it's a pretty tough one. We'll see. I don't really know. Honestly, I don't worry about other teams.
I was just wondering if the Chiefs, like, I guess let's narrow it down then. You think in division, do you think it's possible that Peyton can get Bo Nix playing well enough that the Broncos can compete this year?
Not
or do you
this
think
year.
You think they're still outside of it a couple of years, even if Bo Nix turns out good?
Bo Nix will be fine because Bo Nix is he's been around for 3,000 years. He's older than Mike Tomlin, and he just got drafted.
I honestly think that was a good pick for them, and I don't want it to be.
In a Sean Payton offense, you have to take what the defense gives you, and you dink, dunk, and then you beat them over the top when it happens.
Yeah.
Bo Nix can do that. I think they're fine, but I just don't think it's going to happen this year. I don't think the Raiders have enough at QB to do it. They don't have enough, in my opinion. I don't think what's his name? The dude that was a flash in the pan for the Jags that they picked up in the offseason. He's just not going to do it. I don't see it. And then you've got the Chargers again. But aren't the Chargers going to try to, like, run the ball more and, like, be some kind of weird thing that they're not? So I kind of wonder if that's going to impede Justin Herbert a little bit. Like, is it going to get in his head if they run the ball 35 times a game?
Does that not make it better for Herbert?
It does essentially, but does Herbert kind of feel like the kind of guy that's like, if he's not throwing the ball 40 times a game and being the center?
Look, I'm not a Justin Herbert fan, and I think he's a little overrated, but I also think that Justin Herbert is not that guy. I think he would buy into a system. I think he would. He's got a hell of an arm.
KY's on board. Maybe a hot take, but if the Colts could win that division, if Anthony Richardson stays healthy. Anthony Richardson, I think he's a decent quarterback. I don't think they're out of that division. They got a pretty good defense,
Richardson he's that dual threat, and he's got an arm. He can throw the ball a mile.
Yeah, Cole. Gardner Minshew. Remember when Minshew just took over the league for like a half a season or something? With that mustache,
baby?
Yeah.
Should I shave everything off and just have a mustache? That'd be kind of weird, though, because I'm bald, and like if I don't have a beard, Mike, and I just have a mustache, it's kind of odd, right?
Mustaches by themselves, I just can't really get into it.
Plus, like I've had a beard for so long now, I feel like I might have got old and fat, and I might have a double chin under here if I shave it.
Don't do it.
Like, it don't feel like it, but I think there could be, maybe.
Just don't do it.
Okay. No mustache for me.
No, do it. Well, look, we talked about some offensive matchups, some defensive matchups I'd like to see. I think the whole Deion Bush,
the safety position will be a good one.
Hicks, Connor, Cook, Justin Reed. Like, come on, like that's
a lot of safety group.
That's a lot.
Our defense is solid.
They're probably only taking 4, right? Like, so how do you solve that problem if they're all going to be able to? If you try to get them all on the team, how would you do that? Because you're not taking no more than 10 DBs total, right? And that includes corners. And our corner room is so deep.
Mike, see, it's not a bad idea.
Do it for training camp.
No, I could.
Call me El Travidor.
Now just imagine him with a slick bald head. I don't think it works.
I don't know about it.
I don't know if that works.
I don't know about it, man.
El Stevedore. I do like that.
Steve-O door.
Angry Drunken German says, I don't think Steve would look right without that Amish gangster look. Man.
Yeah.
Father Hezekiah.
Dude, I used to watch a show on TV. It just caused my monitor to like break almost.
I heard the squeak. It squeaked.
I used to watch a show on TV, and it was about Amish people that decided to leave the Amish community.
Rumspringa!
Dude, and it was wild.
Have you seen the movie Sex Drive?
Yeah.
It's so
it has,
funny. It's so funny.
Seth Green's in it, right?
Yeah, he's an Amish guy in there, and dude, it's so funny. It's a funny movie.
Kind of crazy.
It's out of control, but it's a good laugh.
Devin, what's up, Devin? Steve, he says, will the Chiefs players that screwed up this offseason ever learn?
I think so. The only one that worries me a slight bit is Rice. Right?
Yeah.
Because, first of all, like if you think of all the controversy of Chiefs players.
Before you get going, though, he was just working out, I'm pretty sure, with somebody just the other day. They got some pictures. He said he's working out. He's ready to go.
I understand, but like
Stay out the club.
Of all of the controversy that's happened with the players, Harrison Butker did nothing wrong. So there's nothing to worry about with Harrison Butker. I mean, he's like, that's crazy. Okay, and then if you look at Wanye, and first of all, Chu don't even matter. He's not going to be on the squad anyway, other than out of practice squad or something.
Poor Chu.
Wanye, I think it's a kind of a wake-up call for Wanye. It's like, hey, man, you're going to be in a position battle to maybe start in this league or be a lifetime backup. Like, you're at a very pivotal point already in your career.
But again, what they did was so minor.
Exactly. And here's the thing. They don't have a track record. Rashee Rice does. He has not done one thing stupid. He's not done two things stupid. He's not done three things stupid. He's done a lot of stupid.
Well, yeah, this might get worse if both those guys get arrested again for even more marijuana in Kansas. Like, right, in a week, if they get it again, then you're going to be like, are we being real?
I'm not worried about him. Rashee Rice is the one that scares me a little bit, and I'll tell you why. Because I honestly think that Rashee Rice has the talent, and he fits the system well enough to where I think he could be a damn good receiver in this league.
But nobody's irreplaceable.
And I feel like, exactly. And I also feel like Rashee Rice, I feel like he's probably a good, like I feel like he's better than what's been represented of him. Like that situation where he walked off, he didn't check on people, right? I don't think Rashee Rice is a hateful person like that. I think it's just, I think he's done some stupid things as a young kid, and I don't think that reflects who he is as a person. I don't think. So that's the only reason that he scares me a little bit, because I feel like he could be so much more than that, and it's just like, but the track record's scary. Like I have to see some.
Have they decided to bring charges in the whole case with the?
I don't know, but I don't like the way you were looking at me.
I'm just laughing because you said I don't think he's a hateful person. I'm sitting here thinking like he was accused of luring a guy to a club and punching him in the face.
Right. There's all, but I think
again, I don't
it's
even
like,
know if that's real.
I think it's like young kid dumb stuff, right? Like I think like Sam Lofton's right. I think he surrounds himself with the wrong people and puts himself with the wrong crowd.
Is
like
he
you can
like
be
the Justin Bieber era when Bieber got a lot of money and went through this crazy era and everybody thought he was gonna like be insane.
Well, I think it goes hand in hand.
The
right?
young,
like,
dumb, and rich thing.
A good kid can ruin their entire trajectory in life by hanging out with the wrong people. And he could genuinely be a good person at heart and just make terrible decisions and put himself out there in the wrong way. Like, and I think that could be a possibility. I don't know. Like I said,
Rashee Rice could come back from this and not have a problem the rest of his career.
That's what I'm saying. I hope so. I hope so. But he's the only one out of all of this that scares me a little bit. The others are a non-story. I
think everything's a non-story at this point, but Rashee Rice, like he's literally it.
And the only reason Rashee Rice is an actual story is because it's starting to become a pattern of behavior. If you go back to like Shefty said that they're going to look back even at what he did in college because they feel like it's becoming a pattern, and they've got to put a stop to it.
Well, look, even that whole Rashee Rice thing, if he had just stayed at the scene of at the accident and the police would have showed up, yeah, they would have said, oh, he was going 119 or whatever. But I don't think that would have even been as big of a deal, except for the fact he just walked away from it, right? Like, that's been literally the whole crux of the offseason is him walking away from the accident.
Right. I hit the wrong one, but it's still a horn.
Hey, that's epic, baby. For $2.
Barrison gets a 2-bomb. He says weed possession charges are dumb. Let him smoke.
Hey,
at this point, who cares?
Chooch and Chong, let him go, baby.
Let him go.
Don't care.
Let the boy watch. Appreciate you, Barrison.
I think Alicia's got a take here.
All right.
She said, what if his friends are not the problem and Rashee Rice is the problem and his friends are getting drugged down? That's funny.
No one really knows. No one really knows, Alicia. But I think the reason why I brought that up is because that was actually what the teams were afraid of with Rashee Rice in the draft process. It was reported, and I don't know if this is true, but people like Schefter are saying that 28 teams had them off of their board because of character concerns, because he surrounded himself with bad people and would be in bad situations. And you know what's crazy? It's funny that was reported, and that's why they took him off the board and this and that, and that's why the Chiefs were able to snag him up in the draft, and he's been as good as he is. And then it comes to light, literally the offseason after his rookie year. Like, that's exactly what happened. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I think there was some truth to that, probably.
There might be. It's all hearsay, too, though. Like the whole shooting up a car, and do we even really know that's true? And again, the NFL cannot go.
I think that's a real story. Yeah,
but it was proven.
Mike, they even have the guy's car, like the name of the guy whose car they shot, and like it was an actual story. I don't think they know it was him, but it was his little group of friends.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
But the NFL can't go back and suspend you for something that happened.
No,
in
but I
college.
think that they will hold that into account. That hey, this is a pattern, and he's been doing it for years, and we've got.
Does he get an extra game because he failed his science test in 8th grade?
I always said I think he'll get 2 to 4 games, no more. But I do think that if he did, I wouldn't be super surprised because I do think they're going to try to set a tone with Rashee Rice, like, hey, you can't do this, like it ends here.
If if nothing comes from the photographer incident, I still don't think they give him 8 games.
Sam Lofton says, whose idea was it to say, hey, guys, let's get out of here? I don't know. I guess you have to think, like in that situation, he had a meltdown, right? Like, because you already were doing something stupid. You knew when you were doing it, it was dumb. And then you almost killed a bunch of people and yourself. You got really lucky to walk away from it. And then I think he was like, oh, shit. So he called somebody on the phone. You even see it in the picture. He's on the phone. So I don't know if he was talking to an agent, a friend, a family member, a lawyer. But I think someone said, leave. This, like, just go. We'll deal with it.
They've actually found the phone records of who he was talking to. It was Mahomes. He said, Dip, get out of there.
Get out of there, man.
He said, I need a receiver. Daggone, did you see last season? You were there.
No, but I mean, you never know because we don't know because he left the scene. We don't know if alcohol was involved or something like that. So, I mean, if it was, and I'm not saying it was, but if it was and he called somebody, that might have been the suggestion they gave him.
He was.
At a party, a family.
Instagram. It was his mom's birthday party, I think.
Yeah, so, I mean, if something like alcohol was involved, it very well could have been a lawyer or somebody that was like, hey, you'll be better off leaving the scene and taking that heat.
Yeah, maybe he said dip, and then I'm going to go back and be like, look, you left the scene because you were Rashee Rice. We didn't want to clog up the interstate. You know, we can.
I'm not saying that's the right thing to do at all, but I think that could have been what happened. Mike, we got a freaking 5-bomb from Denise. She says, is there any good news about the Chiefs?
Oh, yeah. OTAs start Monday.
The good news about the Chiefs is they are the best team in football for 2 years running.
Get these goofballs on the football field. We're tired of it.
Right.
Look, get them guys into a facility, lock the doors.
Well, look, I'll tell you this.
Do not let them out until February 15th.
You eliminate all the dumb sideshows. You eliminate all the sideshow stories like Rashee Rice, like Harrison Butker, now these 2 goons that got arrested for for marijuana.
Cheech and Chong.
You throw all that stuff to the side and you just look at the bare bones of like football and what has happened in the offseason. I think that's the good news right there. I think this team got better. They won the Super Bowl and now they are better than they were a few months ago.
You know why this has been a big deal? It's just because we're the Chiefs. All the eyes are on the Chiefs. We're the biggest team. We're the most beloved. We're the most hated. You know, we are. The NFL already admitted we are the Cowboys of the 90s. We are must-see TV. We're in the headlines. It's just we're under a microscope right now. And every little thing, you know, when Travis dates Taylor Swift, oh, my God, it was the end of the world because Taylor Swift came to a football game. It was the end of the world that Harrison Butker makes a speech. It's the end of the world that two guys smoked weed. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sure there's like 4,000 people get pulled over per day with weed in Kansas.
Right.
But the point is it's just the Chiefs, and we're just magnified, and it's haters hating, and it's just we're just a big story right now. But this is where the guys have to like, you got to grow up a little bit, and you've got to just chill, you know, just make football the priority. And believe me, you're all going to retire in 10 years and be able to do what you want to do.
Appreciate the 5, Denise and Brenda with the gifted membership. Appreciate you, Brenda.
Go.
You guys are freaking legends. Put some legendaries in the chat for them. Appreciate all the donos and everything. Those go a long way. We appreciate the support. If you guys haven't hit that like button yet, please take 2 seconds. Go hit the like button. Get that built up a little bit. Help us get out to a few more people. And if you guys have any questions or anything, make sure to throw them in the chat. We'll be around for a little bit while longer tonight, but we appreciate you hanging out with us on Saturday, talking Chiefs. Even if all of it's not good news, I mean, you know.
Could be worse, man. It could always be worse. Count your blessings.
Chief Kelsey says 2 to 4 games max for Rice, pending the photographer. I agree, Chief Kelsey. That's where I'm sitting. I think, and I don't even know if that's this year. They might have to wait.
I think if they don't get the whole thing legally settled, I don't know if it happens this year.
Yeah, I think they have to wait and kind of see what's up. So,
but they may. I don't think they go to a commissioner's exempt list or anything until you get it. But I believe if something happens, like, and they come back and they're like, look, the photographer thing was absolutely true. You know, we're pressing charges. Like, the DA is going to pick this up. If they come back and he's done. Because I don't think Goodell will have, I don't think he'll wait at that point. He'll just be like, look, they're already trying to stop the three-peat. Like, they're going to take our best receiver, right?
Well,
or at least what it's presumed to be that way.
They're definitely going to make it hard for the Chiefs, bro. It's not going to be a walk in the park.
Steve TGZ says, do you think we have enough depth to hang on to Omenihu?
I think that's the question could be worded the opposite, maybe. Like, I feel like we need to hold on to Omenihu because of a lack of depth.
Do you think, though?
I think that's the only reason why he's not
Omenihu
gone.
claims he's going to be back week 1. Like, is he just overshooting it here, or?
Charles Omenihu, I like Charles Omenihu as a player. I think he's an excellent player. I think he fits Spag's scheme very well. He was an absolute monster. He put up a lot of stats in a short amount of time last year. And I agree with him when he says that. And like, hey, look at me, look at me. But Omenihu, let's be honest here. He's not like the way he comes off sometimes with his tweets and like some of the things he has to say and his attitude.
Very full. He's confident in himself, that's for sure.
Yeah, I
like
feel
this
like
guy don't lack any self confidence.
Yeah, but I think he lacks self-awareness, and I think that he is a little bit. I'm not going to say he's delusional, but he's borderline. Like I don't think he has to be real with himself. He's not going to play game 1. If he does, that's crazy.
Look, that may be the only way that I pay him. Is if you can get back and play. I just think it's weird that you'd pick up a guy that gets suspended for 6 games. Then the next season, you're going to hold on to a guy that may not play for 6 to 8 weeks.
It is crazy.
It's weird.
Now, if they're trying to keep him longer term because of the way he did look when he was available, which I'd be okay with that because he was a beast.
Yeah.
And I mean, a short amount of time, he put up some huge stats. He fit very well in the system. I like him on the field. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, he's a bit cocky. He's a bit full of himself, and he just does things that are questionable. Like he signed his contract, then complained about his contract. literally months after signing it, and just like crazy things like that. He gets mad at people on Twitter when they say
like he
obvious
was trying to
things.
It's like he was trying to like fish around for like a big contract extension. But who does that after you just like have an ACL injury or whatever?
He literally was suspended for 6 games and then turned around and tore an ACL. Man, I'm sorry you're not getting an extension. That's not going to happen
especially from Veach. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
Veach would fight his mom for an extension. She could be like, Brett, I want to go to Outback Steakhouse this weekend. He's like, Mom, rallies or you ain't going nowhere. And she's like, okay. Veach is lethal, bro. He's just not going to have it.
Yeah, for sure. Chief Kelsey says Rice needs to move in with the Butker family.
He does.
That would be good for him.
He needs Butker.
Yeah, Butker can take on a father figure. Like, come here, buddy. Let me take you under my wing. Let's.
I don't know. Who
maybe
said this?
Butker, Chief Kelsey.
Chief Kelsey. Chief Kelsey to the pit. No, I'm joking. Dude, he does. He needs Butker to just to keep your head on straight for a minute.
Hey, Denise, it could be. He could just be being positive if you're talking about a Minihue.
Yeah.
That's true. And it's the way that he like the way that he presents himself and the way that he says things. Like if you read like his tweets and stuff, like I don't know. It kind of comes off more as I'm awesome and you better love me and you should appreciate me more than it does like, I'll be back, guys.
Right. Ellie JT. Thanks for being here. I've not seen Ellie in the chat before. Have you ever seen Ellie?
I haven't, but I'm glad she's here.
I'm glad you're here. Obviously, we love what Rice brings to our offense, but how do you think fans are going to respond to him? We've talked about this time and time again, and we think the fans are going to be more hard on him than anything. Because there's a lot of fans that don't like the fact that he walked away and could have injured somebody, and they think that's a character issue.
And it is. Let's be honest here, but that's what I was talking about earlier with Rice. Like, is it one of those things where, like, young, dumb, not thinking correctly? I mean, because you have to think back when I was 22 years old, I did a lot of dumb stuff. Like, thank God that I didn't get myself in all kinds of trouble. Like, I was very lucky because I was doing some dumb things.
Look, let me tell you guys a story. I was sleeping one night, and Steve and a bunch of friends come in with a paper plate with a brain on it.
We found a human brain.
They think it was a human brain.
No, we don't think. We know.
We
had confirmation.
Or something somewhere in the middle of the night. And so they went and interrupted our science teacher at school and said, dude, is this a brain? And he was like, go put that back where you found it.
It legit. Like, there's a long,
I don't think it was a human brain, bro.
It was.
No, it wasn't.
It was.
Then you should have called the police. That could have been an unsolved mystery, a crime mystery that you could have solved.
So there's a lot more to the story that we won't talk about. Okay? It's nobody's business.
This is horrible.
But that's a true story. Well, we were always out doing some wild stuff.
You don't know it was a human brain, bro.
No, we got confirmation on that.
No, you don't. Quit.
We got confirmation.
That was like a deer brain or something.
No, it wasn't.
Shut up.
Mike,
Are you guys in the mob?
Mike, look at me. It was confirmed. Okay?
It's
by a
not
very,
confirmed.
very reliable source.
So you guys are going to prison for covering up something?
No.
You look, if you come across crime evidence, you have to turn it in.
Is it really evidence, though? I mean,
it is evidence, and you're sitting
of what?
You're turning yourself in right now. This is a deer brain, bro.
Yeah, it was a deer brain, wasn't it?
What are you doing? You're pulling a Rashee Rice. What are you doing?
Look, no, I mean,
Good Lord.
That's not. Whatever. If there's no crime, there's no evidence.
Jonathan says Steve put the rub on it and cooked it for $150 for 13 hours. Dude, I thought taco night was weird. It felt weird that day.
The whole story's great. We do not have time to hash that out.
Yeah,
but
angry
good
drunken
Lord,
German,
man.
But dumbass over here can't figure it out. But he's like, no, dude, it was a human brain. Let me tell you. Like, this guy, what are you doing?
Well, first of all,
shut up.
I didn't do anything. Okay,
it doesn't matter.
Just because I saw it doesn't make it, tampering or anything like that.
I don't even remember what year it was. It's been that long. That's probably been like 25 years.
It was such a good story. Like, and I can't.
It was
I
a
don't
dumb
have
story.
time. I don't have time to get into it. And like, you all would really think I was crazy if I told you the entire story. But it's so. It was just. Yeah, a lot of crazy things happened. When you're young, and
Angry Drunk has said this is the kind of story you tell at your funeral and not a day before. And Steve's just right here on YouTube Live, just hashing it out.
whatever. It's dude. I don't even know where that. It's not even. That's not even real anymore.
He's like, did you find a human brain?
No.
Yeah, I did. And I'm going to get on YouTube Live and I'm going to tell everybody about it. And then when you try to tell me it's not, I'm going to say you're an idiot. This guy's an idiot. Like, straight up. Like, what are you doing? We got to move on. TGZ is not going to let us move on. He says head cheese for breakfast.
Two bomb.
Two bomb. That's what's up, TGZ. No, nobody ate it. Nobody ate it. I don't know where it went. It got disposed by our science teacher.
Nope.
Oh my, shut up. It didn't get disposed by our science teacher, you idiot. I'm going to go on YouTube Live and I'm going to tell him what we did with it. What an idiot over here. Shut
If
up.
I told you what really happened.
Steve, are you Rashee Rice's legal attorney right now? What is wrong with you? You're like, hey, Rashee, I think you should go to a nightclub and punch a photographer. Like, what is this guy doing?
Not that you brought it up.
I did. I was giving you a chance to clear the air after 27 years.
Well, the moral of the story is when you're young and crazy things happen. And I think what it could be is that doesn't mean everyone that's done something stupid when they were 21, 22 years old, that doesn't make them a shitty person.
You make it sound like you were the responsible for the brain. Like,
I'm talking about Rashee Rice.
yeah, but you're like, the story though is to show that whatever you do in your past, what are you doing?
You're making it so much
Are you
worse.
trying to act like you found a human brain and you were the cause of it? What are you doing right now?
No, you're just making it so much worse than it really is.
No, everybody can see this. Ray said you're snitching on yourself. What are you doing?
I'm not.
You've somehow framed yourself for something that didn't even happen because you can't stop talking.
It's you. You did
It's you. You're like, yeah, I found a brain. And it doesn't matter what Rashee Rice does because back in the day, I found a brain and I was responsible for it.
I didn't find it.
Okay.
Can
Let's
we
stop
move
talking
on?
about the brain. Steve's digging himself a hole.
I'm not even. You're the one that won't shut
TGZ's
up.
calling 911 right now.
Good grief.
No, it's funny. But anyway, enough about the deer brain. Dude, I give you one more chance to not correct me, and then you had to giggle about it. I'm just
What?
over it.
I was laughing at something else.
Oh, what are you laughing at over here?
Sam Lofton said, "Fight, fight."
No, there ain't no fights.
No,
going.
man. But no, all I was saying was like, I don't think that necessarily means that he's like a terrible person. I mean, he's young. Maybe it's just stupid. It's being dumb. We'll see. It's yet to be seen. But let's hope going forward that,
Dude, if he does anything else, if this guy, look, if he goes into a store and he accidentally tries on a pair of shoes and forgets and walks out, he's getting cut. If this dude farts in public and it gets reported on TMZ, he's done. Like, you just squeaky clean, don't eat nothing gassy, stay at home, work on football, watch film, do something. But just don't be in the news anymore. Like, just quit. Quit with the news. Steve, I'm over it. I'm over the offseason. It sucks. Let's get to OTAs.
let's do it.
This has just been the wildest offseason. Like, do you remember when we thought there was going to be nothing to talk about this offseason? Boy, were we wrong.
I mean, that's the thing. Yes and no. We've had plenty of stuff to talk about, but it's not really what you want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not good stuff.
Yeah. Denise asked,
With the two bomb.
she says, first and foremost, have you both lost your minds? Dude, this has been a wild year. I'm over it. We need vacations. Look, when the Chiefs go to OTA, I'm going to France or something. Let's get out of here. Let these guys go to work.
What's the worst thing that you ever did, Mike? Like when you were like early 20s or whatever and you were a kid, like, and something that people would be like, you know what? You're a bad person. Like you're just a bad person. Like Rashee Rice walked away from the accident and he didn't stop to check on anybody, right? So it made it look like he was a really bad person.
Just a horrible person.
What's something that you did when you were younger that would make you look like a bad person, but you're not really? You know what I'm saying?
Let's preface this by saying I am a horrible person. Okay. No, I'm joking. I'm a good, upstanding
Like, is there
citizen
anything
of the world.
Like I could think of a few incidents like where if people looking from the outside in would be like, man, he's a real piece, you know?
But like,
yeah.
Dude, let me think. Man, I can't think of nothing off the top of my head that's like that crazy, right? Like, maybe like,
I don't know. I'm not saying anything crazy.
Okay, I can think of one. So I was in high school, and there was this kid in our class, and he played football with us. And, you know, he had a job at the old Winn-Dixie. And
Winn-Dixie, baby.
We thought
Whatever
it was
happened
funny,
to those things?
Right. We thought it was funny to go by every night because he was the guy that had to go collect the carts. And every night we would go by and we would take carts and put them in his truck that he drove to work. And he'd have to come out and we'd be across the parking lot and we'd hear him with our windows down sitting in a dark corner being like, who's putting these freaking carts in my truck? And like every day he's like, if you all keep doing that, you're going to get me fired. And then we didn't listen. And sure enough, he got fired because they said he was trying to steal carts in his truck. So he got fired. All because we wouldn't stop putting carts in his truck.
They thought he was stealing the carts, taking them home?
Yeah. And then the second thing that I'll say was our friend Joe, rest in peace, Joe.
Yeah, Joe was a character.
He came over to the house one night, and his mom, look, he was being like a little butker. He had to get up and go to Catholic church.
Yep, I remember that.
On Sunday. And what did we do? He fell asleep on our couch. We took as many weird objects as we could that were long and pointy and looked like wieners. Like, I'm just going to say it. And we wrapped them in black duct tape, taped them to the back of his car, and then wrote on the side of the car on a pizza box.
With it had a little badge.
Yeah,
like an old sheriff's
badge on his passenger side so he couldn't see it. And it said, I think I can say this without getting canceled, right? Dildo Bandit. And he drove it all the way 10 miles.
He woke up late and he drove to church and didn't look at it.
Drove to church with that on his car, pulls into the church parking lot, sits through service, and his mom comes out and she's like, Joseph, real funny, Joseph. And he's like, what?
Yeah, that was like, pretty bad.
She said, Dildo Bandit, Joseph, you brought that to church?
Yeah, okay, yeah. So,
bro, I don't know.
I can think of some things. Like one time we were in, or out of town. We were like 75 miles away from where my apartment was at the time. And I decided to stay there and all you guys left and went home, right? And I was like, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to go to this party at this hotel. It's going to be cool. It's going to be fun. I get there and it sucked. It was boring. I didn't want to be there. But I had no ride home because y'all left and I've stayed there in Louisville, right? And it was about 75 miles away from where I lived at the time. And you know what I did? And this is a true story. And see, if people would look back and they would say, man, that's a real bad person.
Yeah.
I found this drunk person. And I was like, hey, we should leave here. It's boring. And I'll drive. I mean, I have a drink. I don't drink. I can drive. And so we should go. And they're like, okay. So we go to their car and they're drunk and they give me their keys. So I drive their car 75 miles home to my apartment. And I get out and I'm like, hey, wake up. You're in so-and-so town. Here's your keys, but you should sober up before you go home. And I went home into my apartment, went to sleep. And that's a bad, like that sounds like a bad person, right?
That'd have been a horrible person.
Who does that to somebody?
Accident or something.
I told them not to leave, sleep it off.
Oh my God.
But see, you do stupid things when you're young, and from the outside in, it looks like you're just an awful person. But like in reality, if somebody says that kidnapping, not if they voluntarily go.
Just admitting to finding a brain and kidnapping someone.
I didn't kidnap anybody. They voluntarily went. They were having some.
Angry says he's smart enough not to talk about specifics of his past on YouTube. Steve's not. We're just having a whole air it out session. Go ahead and tell us something else, Steve. What other crimes have you committed?
Sam Lofton said it was a carjacking. It's not. I had full permission. So, like, that's the thing, though. Like, all of that to say, like, you do dumb things when you're young. I hope Rashee Rice doesn't do anything crazy going forward. I hope he learned his lesson. Like, hey, even, I have to... What?
Chiefs fan says we used to go to abandoned morgues when we were teenagers and take pics of us laying in dead pants.
Dude, this is getting good in the chat. What else have you guys done? No, but like, I guess
all teenagers do dumb things though. But Rashee Rice is not a teenager.
I'm early 20s. Same thing. Almost the same. Right?
True.
Like 21, 22 is almost the same as 18. You're not thinking right. You're like, you don't even understand life at that point. You know what I'm saying? But like, I'm hoping going forward, like he knows, like, it's about that's the thing. It's about perspective. One guy that I really hate, by the way, he told me this once, and it's the only good advice I ever got from the guy. And he was like, it's not about if you're doing wrong or you're doing right, but it's about perspective. It's how people see it and perceive it from the outside. So even if you're not doing something wrong, don't make it look that way. You have to think about, how they are, perception. You have to think about self-perception. That's something that Rashee Rice needs to know. Like, you might not be doing the worst things in the world, but you really got to think about how people see you and what light they see you.
So if you suck, just don't look like you suck to the world.
But I mean, you got to think about things like that. Like, I can't hang out with these people that are dumb and do dumb things, Like, even if I'm not doing it, it still looks that way, and I'm still getting the bad rap for it,
Right. It's the whole lay with dogs, get fleas mentality.
Yeah. Sam Lofton said that's deep, Steve.
It's so deep. I almost passed
We need
out.
We need some serious music for that one, for that speech.
You didn't need nothing. Oh my Lord.
It's been a fun night talking about dumb stuff.
What's happened tonight, guys? We've figured out. We've conquered life. We now know, like, just don't do dumb things.
Brian Gale says maybe 10 games for Rice. That would be a real wake up call for him, I think.
Isn't that extreme?
What's up, Lonnie? Yeah, I do think it's extreme, but also like I really do. I'm with Chief Kelsey. I think 2 to 4 games. That's kind of where I've been at this whole time, like since the beginning.
Wait.
What? Maybe.
Oh man.
Maybe. But
Steve would be defending him. He's like, well, look, it don't define you as a human.
Shut up.
It just don't.
You made me forget what I was talking about. Look what you did.
Dude, John said, I'm glad John had a good time.
Oh, the 10 games. He said 10 games.
If we made one person have a good night, that's all that matters. We're stupid over here. We like to have fun. It's not so serious all the time, man.
It's really not. You can't take yourselves too serious. Like, if we got in here and took ourselves so seriously, like we were somebody because we have a YouTube channel talking about football, that's stupid. Let's just have fun. But, what I was saying was, he said 10 games. That's what I was talking about before you rudely interrupted me and got me sidetracked.
Sorry.
I think from the NFL's perspective, if like you're looking at Goodell and his goons, and they're like, well, this kid obviously has a track record. It's a pattern. He's going to keep doing it. They could try to be harsh to like really set a tone to try to cut this off. So, I mean, it just really depends on how they look at it.
Maybe they think... like sometimes parents, they'll try to be soft on you. But sometimes, or maybe even teachers. But at some point, you're like, maybe I just have to be super hard. Like, you got to give them the wake-up call, right? Maybe the league thinks if you give him a big old fat wake-up call, this will change the trajectory of where he's going. So maybe that. And look, it may be something good. Well, look, what if at the end of the day, you have two scenarios? What if at the end of the day, Goodell gives him a slap on the wrist, he don't learn crap, and a year later he does something worse? And maybe he turns into a Henry Ruggs situation.
Right.
Or the NFL comes out and says, Goodell says, look, I'm going to give it to you right now. We're going to turn you around. Here's a full season suspension. And we say, what in the world? but it wakes him up and it changes his life and he turns into Noble Butker.
That was deep.
You know what I'm trying to say? So
Mike, that was deep.
Even in the moment, like we may think Goodell's, a villain for giving him all these games, but maybe it wakes him up. Sometimes you get what you get, man. You got to have consequences sometimes, right? There's consequences to your actions. So,
yeah, I just don't know how far they're going to go.
I don't think they're going to ban him for a season or anything, but I'm just saying, like, whatever he gets, he gets. He earned it. Like, do dumb things, win dumb prizes. So quit.
Yeah. Sam Loftus says, stop, Mike. Stop it.
Oh, you're afraid Goodell's listening? He's like,
he might be
this
listening to you.
He's like, this Mike guy's got a good point.
He got a good idea.
He's like, that go.
Mike, we got another 5-bomb from our girl, Denise. She said, you guys crack me up. Love watching you too. Appreciate that, Denise. Yeah, we try to have a good time. Just be fun.
Appreciate it.
We like to talk about the Chiefs and talk about football and just have fun doing it, And we appreciate you guys. It wouldn't be fun if you guys weren't here.
Appreciate all you guys being here, by the way.
Love the chat. People here are awesome. And if you're new to the channel out there, it's always a good time. Hit that sub button.
Right. Jonathan says, could he pay civil lawsuits without the game checks? Here's what I'll say about that, though.
He'll get there.
This is what I think. I didn't mean to even click that one. Sorry. I think that with athletes, in a way, it's kind of like college athletes before they started doing the whole...
like they do it off projection?
Yeah, like college athletes, before they even get drafted, they're getting
They get a huge credit line. Yeah.
So Rashee Rice has probably got tons. Like his lawyers will take care of it, and then they'll just contract it out. Or I'm sure there's something set up to where he's probably sitting on a lot of money. I don't know. Like he had uncashed checks in his car. So apparently it wasn't so vital he needed it. Well, I had some of his uncashed checks in my car.
That's the thing. I think he's going to be fine. Like that's really what's going to happen to Rashee Rice ultimately is misdemeanors, paying some checks to some people, and just trying not to do anything stupid anymore. That's the moral of the story. Rashee, if you're watching, we love you, man. We love you, and you're a great player. You have a great opportunity in front of you. Just don't be a slap nut no more.
Look,
like we know you. We know you can do it.
Rashee, look at me. We love you. We're rooting for you, man. Get it together, bro. Like, that's all we want. We want the best for you, Rashee. There you go.
You gonna sing him a song?
Look, if your mom, your dad, your whoever didn't tell you enough in life that they loved you and you're special, I'm going to tell you right now, you're special and we love you. Look,
what you sound like? Have any of you guys ever seen the clip of the hatchet?
I was going to say Dr. Phil.
Has any of you all ever seen the clip of the guy?
Are you talking about the dude that hatched?
There was a hitchhiker, and he got in a car with somebody, and the guy was on PCP or something, and he decided he was God, and he was going to start running everybody over. Do you remember that? And he hit somebody with his car. So
the hatchet guy.
Yeah. So there's a whole
YouTube or a whole Netflix documentary.
Smash.
Yeah.
Like talking about hitting him in the head with a hatchet because he was trying to kill people. Well, do you remember the speech he gave on the news where he's like, just want everybody to know that you're special. And that's what you sounded like. You were him.
You know what I was doing today? Man, we finally had a day where the sun was shining. It was nice out. It's been raining here so much. I feel like we're in Seattle, right? But it was so nice today. Yeah. And I was driving around and I rolled down the windows. And you know what I started doing?
What?
People were walking down the street. I was just waving at them, man. I was like, hey, man. Just waving, and they all looked at me, but then they just waved back. And I realized at the end of it, I did it 7 straight times.
You gotta go old school. You gotta.
I was proving
throw the finger up while you're driving.
Yeah, I was trying to prove a point that I feel like everybody at the deep of their core is a pretty solid person. They're just a little
not everybody,
but they're a little misunderstood. And I feel like everybody in life, Steve, they just want to feel loved and important. And if you just show them a quick act of kindness, and they're right back at you. And that's what I found today. And I'm going to leave you with that tonight. Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
What?
I'm joking. That was my speech of the day.
You turned into Mr. Rogers for a second, bro. You should start changing clothes.
I was trying to go to Dr. Phil. He said, you got to sell the small house to buy the big house.
Got to sell the little house to buy the big house. Man.
Jonathan, see, he says out where I live in the rural, if you don't wave, you're weird. Dude, I live in a little town, man, where if I go walk
Mike
around
lives in
town,
a little Mayberry. It's funny because it's literally right outside of Louisville.
If I go walking around town, every single person will wave at you, talk to you.
They all
It's
know
weird.
each other, right?
Yeah.
It's strange.
Yeah,
But-
I need to put my sweater on and just look. I was having a good day, man. I just thought people needed, to know that somebody was going to wave at them and cared they existed.
It's just
Yeah,
like-
and they said,
like, Mike looked like Forrest Gump out there, like when he's on the shrimp boat waving at Bubba.
Jenny.
Yeah, whoever he's waving at.
No, I wasn't going that wild.
That was you. It was. Mike,
I was just going ham, baby.
we're going to save the world one stream at a time.
We're trying.
Let's give them little inspirational speeches. But for real, though, I think we're a few weeks outside of just some actual football talk.
Right.
So that's fun. Maybe OTAs will be a nice little breath of fresh air. And then
John's out here doing the Lord's work, holding doors for strangers. I do too. I left today. I was leaving Ulta. Don't ask why I was in Ulta.
Mike, were you getting makeup?
I wasn't trying to buy makeup. No, I was smelling colognes. There's some new colognes out I wanted to sniff. But I leave, and this nice lady's coming through, and I open the door, and I don't pay attention because I was like, oh, she was coming in.
Because you're a normal person?
Right. But I said, and I stopped, and I held the door for her. And I said, ma'am, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. And she said, it's okay, youngster. And I said, well, I'm not that young, but I appreciate you. Just got to be nice, Steve. Just got to be nice to people.
I think it's about time to wrap this up for the night. What do you guys think? Mike's getting a little weird.
I'm not. I'm just telling you, just be a nice person.
We all know that. Real quick.
This has been a week. Been a week.
It's been pretty wild. But no, getting back on track just a little bit. Well, you guys put in the chat what you're most excited to see this offseason as far as OTAs, camp, and all that. Like, what is it that you're excited to see? Mike, I asked you that earlier, and you were talking about different...
Just camp battles, yeah.
Camp battles and things like that. I think that I'm the most excited, and not for the receiver battle, which I think will be a good one. But I kind of want to see how our defensive back room shapes out because I feel like it is heavily loaded.
I love our DBs, man.
You mentioned the safeties earlier. We got a ton of corners, and like there's a lot of young talent. A lot of people were worried about losing L'Jarius Sneed, and obviously that's a huge loss because he was the best corner in the league last year. But you can't pay everybody. You just can't when you're when you're in the middle of a dynasty and you're looking long term.
When your coaching staff is turning everybody into a Pro Bowler, you can't pay 52 Pro Bowlers.
Right. So I can't wait to see how that shapes up. I wonder, like, I have high hopes for Kamal Haddon, but I do feel like it's a very saturated room, and it's going to be tough for any of them to make the
I'm
squad.
curious to see. Najee was having a good offseason last year, and he hurt that knee. He hurt that knee.
One.
And the reason he did it is because, I'm going to tell you why he did it, because it started freaking raining, and they had to take it indoors, and there's something about practicing on turf and indoor I just hate. And sure enough, if it wasn't to rain that day, you want to talk about butterfly effect. If it don't rain that day, maybe Najee had a good year. Who knows? But maybe we don't win the Super Bowl. Who knows? You know what I mean? Like, everything is an effect. So this is my thing. I want to see if Najee can come back from that, get over it, and can contribute and picked up where he left off last year. Because if not, and Najee struggles a little bit, there's no room to struggle here with our DBs. They're going to take, 5 to 6? And, I mean, I think, look, Josh Williams, Watson, McDuffie, those three are locks. So there are 3 spots here up for grabs. And to be honest, Echo Boy Doe played well last year and was called up late. Nick Jones looked pretty good last year, and he's, he didn't give a chance to do anything, but it was like more of a hand injury. It wasn't, to his lower body, which you got to have a good fluid, set of legs to play corner. That's for sure.
No, you don't need legs.
You don't need legs. Lieutenant Dan could play corner.
Lieutenant Dan would be a damn good corner. Anthony Child says, I think L'Jarius won't have as good a year as on the Titans. Defensive support isn't nearly the same. I think that's a good point, Anthony. Like, L'Jarius was a very good player, but he was also a product of a very good coaching staff and a very good scheme. Let's be honest here. Like, if you really strip down L'Jarius Sneed, like what you saw last year was the most lockdown corner in the league. Like, he's going to shut down a number one receiver. He was a beast. But when you really strip it down, L'Jarius for the longest time was a guy that was letting up more catches and more yardage than a lot of other cornerbacks in the league. He was a guy that was missing tackles left and right.
He led the Chiefs 2 years in a row, missed tackles. He led the league
Right.
2 years in a row and allowed catches to his side of the field.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, I mean, like, I agree with you, Anthony. I think that's a pretty good point. Lonnie, what's
Lonnie
up,
says,
Lonnie?
who do you think gets the starting nod opposite of McDuffie? I think it's
Joshua
Josh Williams.
Josh Williams.
I think Josh Williams actually this year could surprise a lot of people.
It might be a little coming out party for Mr. Williams.
And I don't know if it happens instantly, but at
But I
some
think
point, there's
it
going
could
to
be
be a stretch from Josh Williams that we all say, Brett Veach did it again.
This could be that guy.
Yeah, this could be that guy. And
This
going
could be
into
that
next year,
Charvarius Ford. This could be that L'Jarius Sneed.
Yeah.
And the good thing is with McDuffie, you have a constant already. McDuffie is an absolute beast.
right?
Like, so
Sam says, does Deion Bush make the team? As it sits right now, I don't see it.
it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. He's a valuable piece. He's a great safety when he has to play.
But they did just sign him on
one of the best
year.
One of the best special teamers. But with that room, you're looking at him trying to beat out Justin Reed, Brian Cook, Chamari Connor, and the new blood,
Yeah.
Jaden Hicks. Is it
Kathy
Jalen
says she
Hicks?
wants it-
Jalen Hicks or Jaden?
Jaden. Kathy says she wants to see that punter battle, baby. We got the punt god, and then they picked up that kid at the UDFA, and he was a guy that should have been drafted, in my opinion, as a punter. He was a draftable punter.
Yeah. Well,
So
I just want to see how Matt Ariza comes back from. So Ariza was a victim of the cancel mob, right? Like, he was wrongly accused of stuff, and it took a long time for it to come out. But God forbid you let the justice system play out and see if the man's really, guilty or not. Let's just crucify him before that. But he fell victim to that mob mentality, and he it could have cost him his career. It's awesome the Chiefs are giving him a chance to come back here.
Right.
He's a beast of a punter. Like, he was a damn good punter. So I think if he can recover from that and come back and get comfortable in the league, I think Ariza's got the job, bro. Like, he can kick.
yeah. But the UDFA, what's his name?
I can't remember. I know who you're talking about.
Is it Rekow? Is that
He's
who
good. He's
Sam's
good.
talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah, he's good too. But I mean, Matt Ariza was
Yeah.
on another level. Like,
Yeah, I mean, they called him the punt god. This
Yeah.
dude could bomb it. And dude, Steve, me and you, look, another thing I'm excited to do is get back at camp this year and see people and go into KC and have some barbecue and have a good time.
have a little meet and greet.
And every time we're there, all we ever did was watch Tommy Townsend boom punts. It don't matter where we sit or
Our
where we
butts are
shifted.
kicking. Like, it's like
They put
the
Tommy
special
Townsend
teams
in front of me.
Special teams was
I
right
caught a
there.
ball last year from Harrison Butker. Remember that?
He kicked a 55-yard field goal, and you caught it.
And I caught that bad boy. And these little kids in front of me, and I was like, suck it. I caught it. You suck.
Mine. I want to throw it back. No, you gave it to the kid to throw
I'll
back.
let the
but you
kid
should-
throw it back.
You know what you should have done? You should have did, what did that dude, I can't remember who it was a Raiders player that did it to one of the kids where he acted like he was giving him the ball?
Jack
You shoulda-
Jones, I think is his name.
Yeah, you should have done that to one of the kids. Like, here, you can throw it back. Just kidding, and just launched it.
No. Those kids have more of a fun time than I do. I
Yeah,
just had
Sam-
to catch the ball, Steve, because I told you. I said, Steve, I'm catching this football. And you said, there ain't no way. And it bounced off 3 people's hands, and I said,
Got
tip
it.
drill, baby. Tip drill.
Sam Lofton says, question is who can hold kicks. I think most punters are, I mean, you have to think they work on that a lot. I think either of them could probably
Do you think
the
Patrick
job.
Mahomes could be our punter?
He's the backup punter.
Right, but do you think he just wins the job outright?
That'd be funny. What if you didn't have to
Imagine
kick it?
if
You could
Mahomes
just throw
was
it.
good enough to punt. So every 4th down, you had to worry about Mahomes launching it on 4th because he can throw the ball, right? That would be a game break. Like, if you could get a quarterback that could punt, that could be wild.
It's the dumbest idea I've ever heard.
You could just line
That's
up and
like-
shotgun and just punt the ball.
That's some like Madden stuff you would do.
I
Like, I'm going to put a
know.
quarterback in as
Let's
a punter.
go. Let's do something stupid.
Speaking of, Mike, Madden, they're bringing back the college football game. Are you excited about that? Are you going to play it? You remember that? Like, it's been like
Yeah.
10 or 15 years since they had one.
There's a $150 version, I think, that they're putting out.
Do you remember we used to play the Dynasty
It's getting
mode?
wild.
and we would just
Oh
play
yeah,
with,
you always get hired to be a coach somewhere like crappy. Like, hey, do you want to come to South Dakota Community
it's okay
College?
because I would take teams like Western Kentucky University, and I'm going to win the national championship with them eventually, baby. Just give me time.
But you felt
Give me
stupid.
time.
You were like, there ain't no way Western's getting in the college football playoffs. So you just felt like a fraud playing it.
It's okay.
So you know what I do to be realistic? I'd dive a few games and just get to a winning record, and then I'd go to like. I'd get in the Sun Belt Conference, and then I'd get a job. You know, I'd dive out a few games, and I'd get an ACC school. And I was like, this isn't Clemson. We're not getting in, so I'd take more dives.
I just thought about it.
I was too realistic.
One of the most notorious things from Andy Reid was when he won the PPK,
Yeah,
punt,
the
pass, kick.
kick.
Maybe he could be the punter. Big Red can go ahead and throw
Look,
that uniform on.
Has
baby.
there ever been a player coach like Big Red at the age of 60-something that just go out there and just bomb it?
How funny would it be if Big Red could punt like 70 yards and you didn't know it?
What if we get to the Super Bowl and we need a punter, and Big Red's like, sign me to a one-day contract, player coach, and Big Red punts a ball 60 feet. Not 60 yards. It goes 60 feet. But
They
check
run
it
it.
out.
They run it back for a touchdown.
They run it back for a touchdown, but they don't get the 2-point conversion and we win. Big Red is the MVP. That's all it takes.
Man, that's good stuff.
What are we doing?
I don't know. We got a Raider fan in the house. What's up, my man?
Let's go. Raider
Do
Romeo.
you think the Raiders are going to be able to compete this year with Gardner Minshew as a quarterback?
I'm curious.
It's kind of
do you
weird
guys
that
like Gardner?
I really thought that the Raiders were going to try to snake Spencer Rattler out of this draft, and they let him go. I thought that would have been a good pickup for them.
I heard they really liked Spencer Rattler. I thought they was going to take a shot on him in round 2.
Dude, I think that the Raiders could have really used him because it's like it's a little bit of a risk, but
Who'd they
is it
get,
really a
round
risk?
2?
They got him. He went in the 4th round.
But they got Brock Bowers in round 1. Brock Bowers good.
That is,
round
but
2?
drafting a tight end as your first round pick twice in a row is kind of weird.
That was odd. But Brock
Yeah.
Bowers is more than just a tight end in a way. He's just a weapon.
Yeah.
But again, who's your quarterback?
They did beef up their defense a little. They got Christian Wilkins. I mean, their defense is going to be solid, but I don't know. We have Patrick Mahomes, okay? And we have Travis Kelce. We had one of the best offenses in football. But when they stalled this season and didn't do that great, it made it tough on our defense. And our defense was top 5. But there were games where it was like we should be blowing teams out. Our defense is
So if the
'Cause eventually
offense
they
is
wear
constantly
down,
putting
you
you
know?
up on short fields and not taking up clock, man, I don't know how good that defense is going to have to be.
Yeah, I don't know. I do think that the Raiders, like, in all seriousness, obviously I hate the Raiders. They're my most hated team, by the way. No, nothing personal. But, like, I think the Raiders made a smart move by hiring Pierce. I thought they were going to butcher that.
I thought they were going to screw that up, and I
thought
think
they were going to go
Pierce-
get, like, another big name. You know
Yeah, I
how
thought
they
that was a
always
good
do.
hire, man.
That's a good hire. I think they're on the right track with him. Will they become competitive this year? I don't know. I mean, they could
I
still
think
be.
the Raiders can compete. I don't know about winning the division just this year. I think everybody's a few years away. I mean, it's tough. Come on, you're Patrick Mahomes, and the Chiefs roster got better this year. Like, we're better. I don't care what
Yeah.
anybody says. Like, it's a better team front
It
to back.
is.
So it's going to be tough to take them down. It's going to take a legit like scheduling nightmare that they give us to work against us. But I think the Raiders are there to battle for maybe a wild card position.
Yeah, well, you think like the Raiders, even when they're bad, they sometimes steal a game from us, you know, because it's always a tough game,
Yeah, it's a divisional matchups, man.
right? So I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I think the AFC West is getting more interesting. Not worried about the Chargers at all yet, Raider Romeo. I'm not. Like, I think they still have a couple years before they get that together. But can they? Maybe. We'll see. But they're always going to Charger, right? I feel like the Chargers find a way to screw up. Much like the Raiders tend to do the same thing. But like, it is interesting to look at the AFC West. I feel like they've kind of like, there for a while, they all lost their minds. They went out and were paying way too much for big name players or whoever else to try to knock the Chiefs off their pedestal. And they were doing it the wrong way. But I think both teams now have gone back to the drawing board and they're trying to build the team, team
Through the
building through
draft,
draft
yeah.
and things, and not just go out and try to sign a bunch of big name players. I think both teams are doing a good job at trying to build their team the right way now. So we'll see.
But again, that takes
That's not going to happen
good
overnight.
draft classes for a few years.
Yeah, it's not going to happen overnight.
I don't know. It's going to be a good season. It's going to be a fun season, I think. I think the way it's laid out this year, I'm kind of excited to see it. Like, we start the season off brutally. Look, before we head out, let's go find the season. Let's go find the schedule.
And look-see at the schedule.
Let's just have a little look-see, Steve, and do a rough look at it here and see what we think.
Prediction-wise kind of thing.
A little rough.
See what's going on.
A little rough predict.
See what's going on with it.
A little rough predict here.
I thought you said something else.
Nah.
All right, what we got?
Let's see. Well, here we go. These are our preseason games. Jaguars, Detroit, Chicago. I forgot the preseason games were announced. So we're going at Jacksonville. Detroit comes back and Chicago comes in. I mean, these are all preseason. Like, nobody cares.
Not a big deal. Well,
Saturday, 8-10, that's a pretty good idea of when we may be. No, we're not going to be in Kansas City. Look, they're going to not play the home game at KC, Steve. So for the second year in a row, we're going to get shut out of at least being able to catch a game when we go to the camp. Because I don't think they're going to be – well, they may still be doing camp 8-17. So that means somewhere around 8-13 to 14. I think last year we went
around the 19th, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. So this is pretty close to when we will be in KC, somewhere around that 8-15 mark, and then we always try to catch a game and then head home.
Well, the week 3 they're doing a Thursday game for that one.
That's pretty wild, but I think camp will wrap up by then.
Yeah,
I feel.
Probably.
Okay, so anyways, here we go. We got Baltimore at home. We got the Bengals at home.
Home. Yeah, at home.
Home and home to start. Okay, well, that's better.
Realistically, both of these games probably will be tough. I think if a team has a better chance of beating us, it is Baltimore.
Can we do this schedule? Let's do a schedule predict. But let's do it worst case scenario, just for fun. So worst case scenario out of here.
Fun.
What do you think?
Worst case scenario is not fun.
No, it is, because if you find the floor, then it only goes up. So
I think the floor is 12-5. I'll say floor is probably 12-5, 11-6.
But what's your floor here? Do you think worst case scenario we lose 2 in a row? I just don't see the Chiefs losing 2 in a row at home right off the rip.
I don't think the Bengals are that team.
No, I think worst case scenario we go.
You lose Baltimore. Here. I think Baltimore.
It could be like a Detroit game last year where they just come out fired
but
up.
I think Baltimore is. They're going to lean more back into that run heavy, and that's what the Chiefs struggle with.
Iceberg says worst case scenario.
This is true. He's not wrong.
No,
but I think Baltimore's going to lean back into that run heavy thing, kind of like the AFC South used to do to us with the Titans, and
right.
Like, so they could shorten up a game and still win. It wouldn't surprise me.
It wouldn't. Okay, look, because the Chiefs, again, you're coming right out of the gate. Maybe some of the receivers, Xavier Worthy's not going to be playing at a high level.
Yeah, you got to get some things to gel, right?
Right. So let's just say 1-1.
Yeah, let's go 1-1.
I don't think that.
No.
I think we handle the Falcons
better.
We should. This should be. But if you remember, the Chiefs always have a struggle bus game in the first 5 weeks of the season.
Week 3 is always bad, it seems like. But no, we'll give them the Falcons. That's 2-1. Chargers, I think worst case scenario, you split with the Chargers. You beat them in L.A. Right. They beat us in KC. That's how it always goes, it seems like.
Yeah, I don't know why. You'd usually think you get. So we'll say we win this one. So we're 3-1.
Correct.
We'll say the Saints are 4-1, and then we hit a bye week. Week 6 bye week is criminal.
It is. That's pathetic.
It is flat out criminal. We ought to sue Roger Goodell. Okay.
So stupid.
So we're what? 5-1?
How are you going to give us a bye week in week 6 and turn around and give us 3 games in 10 days?
So look, worst case scenario, 5-1, we'll lose to San Francisco, worst case.
Right. So 5-2.
So 5-2. We'll say Vegas beats us too. Worst case, we split them. So 5-3. I still think we beat the Bucks on a Monday night. That's 6-3. I still think we beat Denver twice this year. I don't think Denver's good enough to beat us this year. They shouldn't have beat us last year.
Well, in all honesty, the Raiders shouldn't have beat us last year either. But the Chiefs laid a turd on Christmas Day.
In my opinion, though, the Raiders are a little closer to having something.
Well,
than
their
Broncos.
defense is much better. So I mean,
what were we at? 6-2, 6-3, 5-3. I think we're at 5-3. Let's go 6-3 Broncos.
Okay.
So that was week 9 with the bye. So 6-3. Worst case scenarios, we drop one to the Bills. So 6-4. We're not losing to Carolina. 7-4. You get the game over the Raiders. That's 8-4.
All right, hang out at 8-4, baby, because Pop just showed up in the house with a 10 bomb.
Let's go.
He says the donkeys suck, bro. We're going 2-0 against the donkeys.
That's what I'm saying.
Let's. No worries there.
Right. So we're at 8-4. 12 games in. On week 14 here, we get the Chargers. We already took a win, so that we got to take the loss here.
Thanks for the 10, old man, by the way.
Thanks for the 10, Pops. Oh, by the way, 8-5. We'll cut it here at 8-5. Pops just got back from Alaska.
He did.
Pops flew nonstop from Nashville to Seattle, took a cruise ship all the way to frickin' Alaska, hung out for a few days, flew back. So Pops has had a wild one. He's seen the whole world. He threw a rock at Russia while he was up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're 8-5, worst case scenario. We don't lose to the Browns, 9-5. We'll just say we lose to the Texans, 9-6. Let's say we lose again at Pittsburgh, 9-7. So our floor, we beat Denver. Our floor is 10-7. So we just got to be 2 games.
And I think that's out of control too.
Yeah, I do too. But I'm just saying that's the absolute worst floor I think we can hit is 10-7. So you're going to be at least 2 games, 3 games above that easily, probably, right? So look, we're looking at a 12-win season here, in my opinion, at least. Worst case scenario, 10-7. Like, are you kidding me? That's your worst case is 10-7. Then again, 10-7 may miss the playoffs.
Yeah, it's not good.
But either way, like I said, we're going to come up with some good scenarios for the season. We'll probably go through and do some predictions at some point.
Yeah.
But
do I think the Chiefs would ever go 10-7 this year? Absolutely not.
I don't. But I'm just trying to say, like, at a worst case scenario, the best I could come up with is 10-7.
I think
that's not that bad.
I think there's a lot of games, like even when you're looking at worst case scenario, you still have to be super generous. Like splitting with the Raiders, that's being generous. Like the Raiders are not on the Chiefs level. Like, yeah, their defense is decent, but they're not on the same level.
Right.
And then like the Texans, like they put a super team together and they had a good season last year, but they're not going to beat the Chiefs when it matters. If they make the playoffs, there's no freaking way, bro.
Yeah, I don't see him making a run. I think C.J. Stroud's going to have a little bit of a coming to Jesus moment this year.
I think every offseason, other teams, like obviously Chiefs fans don't do this, but other football fans tend to forget that Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback to ever step on a football field.
Dude, it's not
like they
debatable
just
at this
forget
point.
every time. And it's like,
just not debatable.
Oh,
like,
well,
could
you're
you
gonna
say
lose
you'd
the-
rather have Brady in certain situations? I will give you that.
yeah, but I mean, in a 7-year window, there's
Brady had
nobody that touches him.
Brady has a 47-year career, okay? If you want to
Right.
go with him, fine. I'm not going to fault you for it. But to say Patrick Mahomes isn't at least in that level is ridiculous. Like, what more does he have to do?
Yeah, but they do. They forget every offseason that Patrick Mahomes is the best to ever do it. They're like,
Yeah.
well, the Chiefs are going to lose to the Chargers, or like they're always saying something stupid.
Bro,
And then, like, I think a lot of it.
dumb.
Oh, and you know, and I understand it from other fan bases because other fan bases can get delusional, right? Like, you have to think, like, even back when the Chiefs were bad, it was still like, this is our year this year, baby. We're going to get to the playoffs. We're going to make a run.
Hey,
like,
remember when Brody Croyle come in? Everybody said Brody Croyle's going to.
you have to have that positive mentality. So I understand other teams' fans thinking maybe they can knock off Patrick Mahomes this year, or somebody will, right? Like, I'm just so sick of Mahomes. Somebody's got to beat him. Maybe it'll be C.J. Stroud, but like they're not thinking straight. Like, just stop. They have to be real with themselves, you know.
If the Chiefs lose, it's going to be ultimately on the Chiefs. It's going to be because they didn't
That's
go out,
the
they
thing,
didn't
man.
execute,
Like,
or they didn't.
no one
yeah.
beat the Chiefs last year except for the Chiefs. Let's be honest here. No one went out and just beat the Chiefs down last year. They didn't. The Chiefs looked like a bunch of bumbling idiots against the Broncos when Patrick Mahomes had the flu or whatever. They looked like a bunch of idiots on Christmas Day. Like, most of their losses was them just like melting down.
The Lions, week 1,
Yeah.
no Chris Jones, no Travis Kelce,
and
if
Kadarius Toney handing touchdowns to him.
If,
Like,
if
here,
this
take
dude
this.
doesn't drop, he doesn't just make one more mistake, and that game was won.
If the Chiefs can eliminate like handing games away, like it could be ridiculous, to be quite honest.
Yeah. And I just don't think.
Yeah, I mean, Pops makes a good point. MVS gave a game away last year to the Eagles.
Boy,
And then the no call on MVS gave a game to the Packers.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane, bro.
Poor MVS.
This is what I was talking about. Like, you try to be nice to a Raider person, and they're just delusional. How are you going to expose Mahomes? And first of all, again, you never exposed Mahomes at all. He's beat your ass so many times. So you haven't exposed anything.
Right.
Like he's like your dad. Like, what are we talking about?
This dude's part owner of the franchise at this point.
Dude, do you realize we're undefeated in your stadium? Like, that is Arrowhead West. Like, you should be embarrassed. Like, it's insane. Like, we even went to your house and won a Super Bowl in it. Like, and y'all can't even touch one. Like, it's crazy to think that someone would think, like, we're going to expose Mahomes. What are you exposing? Are they going to expose themselves to Mahomes? Or are they going to hang dong on the football field?
You ain't going to expose nothing, buddy. Patrick Mahomes is going to beat the crap out of you 2 times this year. And he's going to actually, after the game, he's going to find your sister. And he's going to make out with her. How about that?
I don't think Brittany would like that too much.
Sorry, Brittany.
No, but no, it's the off season. That's what happens. But it's going to be a fun year, I think. I think the Chiefs got better. We're getting ready to finally roll into OTAs. We're getting ready to get to camp.
Dude, we're just having fun.
Yeah. Like I said,
like don't take it seriously, bro.
Nothing personal, but we're
Yeah,
always
we're
going to
just having a
talk.
good time.
We're always going to talk a lot of trash. So it just is
And
what
look,
it is.
you expect it. The Raiders aren't going to come in and say nice things about us.
But for real though, real quick, I just like to
having a
know.
good time.
I would like to know from a Raiders fan. Don't you think that little thing they do is a little like?
What are you talking? You always
stupid?
talk about this. What are you talking about?
They're fans. They do this. They go Raiders.
Do they?
Yeah, it's so stupid. I don't understand
No, they
it.
don't.
Like, can you admit as a Raiders fan that that's dumb?
What do you mean? They
You've
just
never heard that? Please, somebody confirm this in the chat. Like, they all get together and they go,
Where do they do it?
Raiders at games.
But like why? Like for first downs, for touchdowns?
Mike, you were at the we went to Kansas City. It was a Thursday night game. It was the time that you started the Tyreek chant and he ran back the punt.
I got Tyreek going, baby.
But if y'all didn't know that,
Horn him up.
there's you can go watch the clip on YouTube right now. Tyreek Hill ran back a punt on a Thursday night game, and it was the winner of that game was winning the AFC West. It was us and the Raiders.
Yeah, and me and you and Pop said, let's go.
Mike started the Tyreek chant. Tyreek. And it went from Mike, and it just kept going.
It
Kept
went
going.
from our section
The
to
whole
we started hearing it.
freaking
And we were
stadium.
Like,
Tyreek. And he ran back the kick. But yeah, when we were there,
Yeah,
you don't remember the Raiders fans that were beside us? They kept going, Raiders.
Raiders.
Yeah.
Shut up. That's so stupid.
I think he has to.
What is it, like a cry? Is it
Yeah,
like
it-
you're crying because you're just sad?
It's not, though. I think maybe some of
said
y'all might have a manly voice, but the
Raiders.
ones that I hear, it's just so weird.
He said not the high-pitched squeaky voice.
I disagree. I've definitely heard the high-pitched
Well,
squeaky one.
It kind of depends who you're sitting by, right? If you're sitting
Right.
by John,
Maybe the Raiders fans had not
And
hit
he's like-
puberty yet. Maybe it was young Raiders fans.
yeah. You know, he like squeaked out. He said, Raiders.
Raiders.
We just all stopped and looked at him. I was like, bro, that was sad.
Yeah, they need a better chant, though. I mean, if you're going to have the tough image of wearing all black and just being nasty and stuff,
Kick the squeaky
we
guy
got
out
to
of your
do better.
stadium,
We got to do
bro.
better than that.
Look, come up with something. At least come up with like,
We
I
have
don't
to.
even know. What do the Raiders do? Or like, what are Raiders? Are y'all just pirates? Is that what
Yes,
it is?
they steal stuff. They're Raiders, Mike. They pillage and steal stuff and all
Y'all
that.
need to figure out how to steal a win. Because it's been a while. You need to get
Oh,
that one
man.
together.
Good times.
I'm
Hey,
sorry. Good times.
Appreciate you guys hanging out with us on the Saturday night. All you guys that donated and handed out memberships, you guys are legends. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. But yeah, we got a lot of content coming your way. OTAs, camp, everything getting ready to kick off. The season's about to go. It's about to start being real, Mike. We know the schedule.
Oh, yeah. We know the schedule.
So, like, before you know it, guys, we're going to be back into football, and that's a good thing because the offseason has not been fun for Chiefs fans because they've been being slap nuts out there. Idle hands are the devil's playground. So get them back onto the football field, please. Good grief.
Dude, get them. Yeah.
For real. Do us a favor, hit that like button on the way out if you haven't already. And if you're new to the channel, we appreciate you guys hanging out. Hit that subscribe button, hang out with us more often. We cover all things Chiefs, and we do it a lot. So this is the place to be at. But yeah, Mike, anything left for them before I hit this outro button and we go be lazy for the rest of the night?
No, we're going to have a good time. And we're going to see you guys next week at some point. So go Chiefs.
There goes a sight from my soul.